Hello, welcome back to a bit more Xerieos. How is everybody doing?
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
This is happening on a Friday today.
I know, we're changing the way that we work because of bank holidays and the fact that we're all, well, mainly I'm ruining things all the time, but it's good, we're all sat here and we're ready to go. We have got through quite a lot weirdly in the last couple of sessions, but it's all been Yibrit based and we're, I think, going to be doing some fun stuff today. But as a quick recap from last time, Theren and Kisaki watched as Aubrey, Stormbreaker Amblecrown took on the Hooded One in the final of the Cathedral of Zana. I know, exactly. You are their favourite. In a close fight, the wild, reckless nature of Aubrey's attacking style was unfortunately diffused by the mysterious opponent who, over several rounds, to be fair, chipped away at Aubrey until claiming victory. Theren, however, during the battle, noticed a slight arcane disturbance during a spectacularly good Arcana check, I must say. Having cast the spell before, you recognise Hunter's Mark being cast on Aubrey by the Hooded One. Racing to inform the guards, the Hooded One was quickly apprehended after the fight, but unfortunately transpired later to have escaped. Theren, Kisaki and Aubrey were then invited to dine with High Priest Glint Zarnosson, the elaborately dressed Dwarven High Priest of the Cathedral. He invited the party to chat with him, explaining that the Cathedral had unfortunately lost its supply of Greater Restoration scrolls to an unnamed but masked thieves about a month prior, before rapidly turning the conversation sour when confronting the parties, particularly Theren and Kisaki, about their alliances with the Order. Explaining the destruction and perceived evil of the Order as his main reasons, he cast the party out, exiled from the Cathedral, and more particularly for Aubrey, from future tournaments. He also asked Aubrey to carefully consider her alliances with anybody that would fight in the Order's name. He did, however, promise forgiveness of sorts in exchange for the returning of scrolls, which to him and the Cathedral are of high value. Brukar, in the meantime, spent his time carefully creating, and again to the best of your ability, disguises that could be used to integrate with the hooded figures you previously found or had got evidence of lurking around the slums of Yibrit. Taking time and care to keep your party activities hidden as best you can using animal disguises and other spells, you venture to the Alchemist's Guild to speak with Guildmaster Percy Grantthorpe about various topics, including Arcanite, that you know is linked with the criminal network, Arcanite that we've seen before from Grumac and the Athena, hooded criminal gang that Percy informed you had stolen a prototype love potion of sorts that he desperately wants back.
That wag.
And Red Sands, an island on which is said to contain herbs, fungus, and strange alchemical properties generally that may help in your cure for petrification.
But he wasn't interested in funding.
No, he was not, unfortunately.
Bloody
He was
paperwork.
a bit of a knob. Brukar spoke to Vincent from the Adventurers Guild about the aforementioned trip to Red Sands, only to be told that, unfortunately, it had stalled after a lack of willing mercenary interest. He did mention, however, that it could, in theory, be resurrected if the party showed significant interest, although you held on to that lead for now. You also probed several leads into the Black Market, a shadowy network said to reside somewhere in Yibrit that might be able to assist with a cure. All leads you found so far have pointed directly towards the slums, but you don't have any other useful leads, as everybody you've so far asked as a party has either been ignorant or unwilling to divulge information. After reuniting, you all spent some time at the Adventurers Guild planning your next move. After confiding with Vincent, Odie, Drazda and Captain Sarcher, a plan was hatched to sail secretly in 3 days' time to Zeliddier, with an agreement to split any gathered loot in your trip 10 ways, which represents 3 shares for you, Kisaki, Odie, Vincent and Drazda, and 3 parts for Sarcher and the ship. And a promise between allies to save as best you can Blue the Bard. Your preparations are being made. And so, as a party, the day after the arena, you wake having had long rests. We will say for the interests of this, you may get your hit dice back. You've got some good, solid rest in the Adventurers Guild with beds or in your shop brew car. You're spending time gathering yourselves. You effectively have 3 days. So the tournament, just to give you some idea of where we are, the tournament was held on the 27th day of winter, and you are due to depart in 3 days' time, the 2nd day of spring. Is there anything you would like to be getting on with in the city as final preparations before we skip ahead into 3 days' time and we venture to Zeliddier?
Theren has a thing.
Yes.
He will, at one point, want to go to the Midnight Marvel.
Okay. Fair enough. So you make your way over to the shop. A similar sight to before is in front of your eyes. That familiar, smoky, just purpley grey substance, almost twinkling stars in the haze that escapes from various chimneys and windows. A distinct arcane presence around this shop, a slight tingling in your skin as you go towards the shopkeeper, that same elven lady from before who greets you as you come in. Oh, how may I help you?
I'm looking for a specific object, if I may.
I see.
I'm not quite sure what exactly it is. I'm more looking for guidance than anything else.
Guidance?
Yes, I've heard stories of certain items, certain books that exist in the world that can enhance one's natural attributes. Specifically, there's a legend. Fuck you. There's a legend where I come from of an artifact that makes the reader more influential. Is that anything that makes sense to you? Am I making any sense here?
You're not the first person to come into the shop looking for items that enhance natural abilities. I have seen pass through this very shop items that can bestow temporary or permanent improvements to strength. Giant's belts are something we have seen. Dwarven items often do the same thing. I've even seen, and I'm just double checking she hasn't got it in store. No, she hasn't. I have seen items that can even boost one's natural constitution to provide a healthy body. To be trained in something as intangible as one's natural charisma. You're almost looking for lore rather than an enchantment, something that will give you a permanent improvement, correct?
That's correct.
I'm afraid I don't have anything like that in store, and well, I'm afraid I don't know of anything like that. The best of it I've heard, there are tales of tell me, have you heard of genies? Make a check. Make either a history or an arcana check for me. Up to you.
Probably history.
About the same.
Ooh.
21.
21 on...
Whichever one you want it to be.
Pick one.
Let's go for history. That's probably going to be
History.
the same.
Okay. You have heard of tales of genies. You've probably heard of a few. You will have heard of tales of wishes. Famous historical figures, especially those tales that come from the Citadel are normally cautionary tales, but people who find genies, these powerful beings of elemental power, who will bestow wishes on people. Sometimes they can be good, sometimes they can be bad. Other times, the rules of what was wished for can be bent. You know, of a particular tale where somebody wished that he would outlive his enemies. and so was rapidly pushed forward in time to an event where his enemy, unopposed, had killed all his friends and allies and had died of natural age, only to find the next person straight back. A cautionary tale. But when I say genies, there are tales that they created items using their natural gifts of magic to create tomes bestowed with power. I do not know where these tomes are, but such a magical artifact, that would be the best thing I could suggest.
Do you know where I might begin a search?
For genies? Well, various different genies exist. Jinn, for instance, are genies of the elemental plane of air. I would suggest if you're looking for powerful beings of that nature, perhaps the elemental planes will be your best shout.
Thank you. One further thing, if I may.
Of course. Would you like to see any of our stock? And she sort of points towards this enticing room behind you. You can see various curious objects put on shelves.
Do you possess any wands?
Wands? Oh, I do, yes. She sort of takes you through to a back room of the store and pulls out this wand with a very natural sort of groove to it. You can see like a web-like form. It looks very much like sort of carved from spiders and web in a natural way, and she sort of holds it out to your hands. You feel that natural arcane pull from it of power. This is a wand of web. It will fantastically cast the web spell. In a certain amount of times of days it can be used as a spell casting focus.
Certain that it is beyond satisfactory, but I wish for something to enhance my magic that I already possess.
I see.
Perhaps if I could demonstrate the sort of magic I mean, this would...
Describe rather than perform, please, in a shop. But not quite the place. And you can see, just as you're saying this, there's a sort of like growl as a dog sort of plods behind you, just behind one of the shelves, staring at you.
I tap the hilt of Bearclaw. This is a spellcasting focus given to me by an incredibly powerful being. From it, I can fire beams, if you will, of pure force.
I've heard of eldritch power like that, yes. Strangely enough, you come at a good time, and she sort of takes you through to the back side of the store. Again, you go through door after door after door, almost doubling back on yourself as you find yourself in a new place of the store every left and right. Nonsensically, the corridors seem to appear and change and shift until you're brought to a back room with a fantastic glass display case lights almost seem to luminesce from nowhere, illuminating a wand, a beautiful wand that you recognise from before, the wand of the War Mage. As she puts it in, this is all we have in stock. It is a very rare artifact. I would say now.
If I may.
Yes?
Forgive me, I do not wish to interrupt. The woman you bought this from is an acquaintance of mine.
I see. You can see her demeanour changes. It suddenly goes from being very hospitable and showing off to very guarded.
Get a friend from me.
I'm afraid this is property of the store now. The transaction was completed.
Oh, I am aware. I do not wish to attempt to reclaim this from you. My problem is not with you, it's with her.
And you can see her lighten. Well, that is another matter. Perhaps one of my other items can help you to get some revenge in some way. We have various magical items that can be used. from figurines, which can help to send messages, from rings to bestow huge physical force.
I'm sorry, a figurine that can send a message.
Yes, and she sort of pulls out a small box from underneath where the wand is and takes out a small silver raven, beautifully carved. This is a figurine of wondrous power. It can be used to, well, effectively summon this silver raven.
It's not instantaneous.
Let me just
This
check
is what
for
happened when Aubrey went into the shop, by the way. Do you want to see anything else? I suppose so.
Hey, it's that upselling, you know.
It is the upselling.
Figurine
just
it comes
saying.
under, doesn't it?
Don't do that, look, dude.
Have you already had this? No.
Figurine. We have.
Yeah,
We have gone on this, but I don't remember because I am Silver Raven. So basically, you can use one of these as an action, and the Silver Raven becomes a raven for 12 hours. Once it has been used, it can't be used again until 2 days have passed. While in Raven form, the figurine allows you to cast the Animal Messenger spell on it at will. So it's not a sending spell. It's an animal that can pass messages through flight.
Theren's interest very gradually declines as this explanation. Thank you.
Were you looking for something more instantaneous?
Yes.
Get the book out.
Let's see what she has in stock. Because this is a very affluent store. So
Oh, it
lesser...
doesn't have the tome of leadership and influence.
No, it doesn't, because that's a legendary item.
Yeah.
It's a very rare.
Oh, very
item.
rare. Very rare is very rare. And also like the wand. So to be fair. No, she doesn't have that. I did roll to see if she had something like that, and she doesn't, unfortunately. But
This is the wand of the War Mage. Yes, it's a symbol of betrayal.
so she's got magic tables, blah blah blah.
Friendly party fighting
Best
together.
friends forever. And Brooker.
Can you, for me please, Theren, roll a d100.
Okay.
And let me know if you get 10 or less.
Uh,
90?
yeah, no.
No, that's 9, right? Or 90.
No, it's 90.
90. No,
Yeah.
unfortunately not.
We all had that moment where we're like, I can't read numbers.
No, I got it.
And sending is a third level spell, right?
That's
I think
it.
sending is a third level spell?
It is.
Yes. So can you roll it again and let me know if you get 50 or less? Please? I love how that you put your dice
I know,
back
just
when
keep
you
them
use
back
them.
when
That's
you use
fantastic.
Yeah.
40. I've heard of artifacts called sending stones that you can use to communicate between two people at distance. So as long as one person has one stone and the other the matching pair, you can communicate between. But unfortunately, I don't have any in stock right now. But I do have a scroll of sending, if that's something you would be interested in. Any arcane user of reasonable power could send it. Equally, the guild here, the Messengers Guild, might be able to help you.
How much?
It would be a third level spell. Sorry, I keep putting the, see, I'm doing it now.
You see, you taunt me for putting the dice back.
I know, and I did it myself, didn't I? Did it myself. Hang on.
Wizards can learn it.
Wizards can learn it. Yeah, that's very true. But does Theren know that? So,
Really?
Nah.
We've given Drazda scrolls before.
yeah.
Does she use them though? I don't think she used in enlarge reduce.
Third level's
No, I
uncommon.
gave it to her as a present as we left.
A scroll. Single use, 200 gold pieces.
Thank you for your time.
You seem slightly disappointed, but no, you're welcome. Well, please, anytime you need anything or have anything to sell, we
I
are willing to buy.
will return. Thank you.
you.
And I
You can see you're followed all the way out by this dog. It's plodding slowly behind.
Before I leave, then,
Oh no.
can I turn around and kneel in front of the dog?
You do, you kneel, and its eyes, you can see it's almost like a Labrador-esque, what's the word for it? Like a mutt of some kind. There's something in it that isn't Labrador. Is it shaggy fur? You can see it sort of stood there, just and the teeth smile, and suddenly you see reptilian teeth, tiny and jagged, very briefly as it sort of flashes at you, and there's a reptilian blink behind the eyes before it sort of sits down and
I slowly reach my hand out.
Oh, goodbye hand.
you can see the shopkeeper has sort of come up from behind you. I'm sure it would be fine, but I wouldn't do that if I were you. You see the dog just staring at you intently.
It does not like being scratched behind the ear.
No, it's a complicated beast. You can see at this point it sort of plods back off and heads back towards the door and like sort of curls back up in its kennel, just with its paws down, its eyes just sort of staring at you.
Forgive me, Lorelei, isn't it?
Yes.
Perhaps there's one more thing you can look up for me.
Of course.
I unsheath back claw
Dog just staring at you.
and hold it out.
So she sort of comes over and takes it from you. You can see that hilarious sort of thing that always happens as it... I see. We have some magical blades with us now, if that's something you'd be interested in.
That is from the Feywild.
She sort of very intently looks at it, and you can see her muttering under her breath a small incantation as she passes her fingers over it. That sort of familiar look that you saw Blue do over again, man, the identifier spell. There's a confused look on her face. No, this is no magic blade. This is a very badly made blade, and hands it back to you.
He sighs, takes it, sheathes, thank you, and goes.
Confused look on her face as you leave. Brika, is there anything else you'd like to do while you were here?
That's me.
You don't have to do anything.
That's you.
I'm assuming you've all picked up on supplies, anything from the player's handbook that you need.
Yeah, the normal stuff. I'll also get some spices for food.
Of course.
Various types of tobacco. My
Yep.
pipe, and I'm gonna buy some like jars, like for anything interesting I find out there.
Ooh,
Okay.
collection jars. Cool.
Yeah, of course. No,
Jam
you can
jars, just like
easily
weird
get a
collection.
good dozen,
Something
2
like
dozen jars. Yeah, it's absolutely fine in sort of various bags. And you probably get all that for a gold piece if you want to mark that off.
Okay, I will. And then I know we're not there yet, but before I leave, I will give I think about 400 gold pieces to May, the apprentice, to help her look after the shop whilst
Wow.
we bugger off killing things.
She sort of like her feet up on the desk as you arrive into the shop, and she sort of like lazily watches you come in and sort of takes the feet off, puts them back on the ground.
Hi May.
Yeah.
As discussed, I am going to be going on a business trip of sorts.
You don't leave your brat.
I know, but with my brother, we've talked about this. I think I need to see the world to understand the magic better.
Alright.
But you're more than capable of looking after this shop.
Yeah.
So, here's 400 gold.
Sort of like latches it again. Alright.
Alright, good luck with all
Sort of
that.
like
Do you
takes the
need?
bag and sort of pops it down. No, I've got it. It's fine. Usual
Okay.
drill.
Great.
How long do you think you're gone for?
Ooh, how long do I think I'll be gone for? A month?
You know the trip is about 5 days. There, 5 days back. How long do you think? It wasn't really discussed.
No.
At most, hopefully a month.
Right.
But who knows?
See you in summer, I guess.
Yep, see you in summer.
As you're leaving sort of the door, you don't mind if a friend's overdue?
She's the fucking worst.
I want to be friends with her.
Are your friends like you?
Yeah.
Good. Yes, of course. But if the shop isn't in good quality for my return, we may have to rethink the whole apprenticeship program.
Right.
But I'm sure you do the job.
Yeah.
Good. Right, May, it is a pleasure as always. Don't ever change. Bye.
Just sort of watches you It's already putting your feet back on the table by the time you leave. Fantastic.
Bloody hell.
Aubrey, are you done? Sorry, I didn't want to... You
No,
got anything more?
what I say will be, when we leave for the boat, I will go in wild shape as a dog.
Okay, fantastic. The dog.
Good
Any
dog,
particular dog? Something scruffy?
Let's say a mastiff.
A mastiff.
Oh my God.
Fantastic. Sort of plods along
Scruffy
behind.
looking, but kind of well kept string.
Scruffy but well kept.
Ah.
Kind of
So me, essentially, is what you're saying. Great, man.
Right.
No,
dog
well
form.
kept.
Oh.
Fiona.
It's
Aubrey.
me.
What would you
Whoa,
like to
Miss
do?
Fiona. The only two things I had, annoyingly, I need to go pick up the night goggles from the Midnight Marvel.
For the sake of roleplay, we won't
No,
do it. I
I
haven't got a card prepared or do
No,
it
it's-
break, but
it's
yes.
Wow. It's gonna have a pencil. Thank you.
well, that lid's broken.
Yes, you now
Sorry.
have the
No,
goggles of
vision-
night. Goggles of night. What was
I
it
think
called?
Vision of Night.
Oh, something like that. I will do a card for you in a second. But yes,
It's fine,
you
yeah,
have
that's all
goggles.
it was.
Effectively, wearing them gives you dark vision.
And literally, the other thing was, during the next few days, I want to keep going out as if everything is completely fine, like go window shopping or whatever, but trying to listen out for if anyone's following me, seeing trying to see where we are as a sort of venturing party.
Yeah.
And if there's anything more about the hooded one, if there's any oh, did you see the Stormbreaker and the hooded one? Any sort of I heard that she did this, you know.
All right.
You're looking yourself up on Tumblr.
No, it's
essentially.
more about the hooded one, but yes, about
So
me
you
as
go
well.
around
Googling
your
on
how sort of thing? How are you doing this? You're pretending you're acting normally.
I'm trying. So, for example, I would probably go to the Scriveners Guild and inquire about making the book for Blue, or going to the Forge, checking out stuff but not buying. You know, that's I do
Okay.
fake shopping.
Okay,
basically.
fantastic. And you're looking to see if people are following you. You're looking to scare
Mostly,
rumors.
if we can only do one of them, it's mostly people following me.
Yeah, you've got time to do both. That's fine.
Yeah.
Make for me a performance check as you try and blend in with the crowd.
I've got to be honest. I don't know if I will be blending in, but it's fine. That's a 16.
16. Make a perception check as you're keeping an eye out.
4.
4. And make for me an investigation check as you look for rumours.
Okay, investigation. This one. That's a 19.
19. Okay. You don't notice anyone following you. After that sort of initial incident in the dock, there's nobody of that quality that you see.
Yeah.
You do a reasonable job as best you can going through
Yeah.
the city, making your way. Several shopkeepers are always trying to sell you things, new plates
I
of
am
armour, new
paying
weapons.
up a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. You don't notice anybody following you, but you start to sort of maybe frequent a tavern or two in the evenings. You can go and sort of have shop in various cafes. Mark 5 silver pieces off.
Yep.
Just as you're sort of going around town, not
Yep.
spending too much.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
And you do hear tales of the hooded one. It's all to do with her fighting in the arena. She has a reputation. You do start to pick up on rumours that there's been some commotion of cheating in the Colosseum, and people are like, oh, that's a shame, she was really good. Or, oh, I always knew she was a wrong and never had the favour of the crowd, clearly a cheater, and all this sort of thing. You don't hear anything particularly about her past.
No, I didn't.
You figure that she's been in the city for some time, but there's sort of the arena battles have only started sort of 3-4 months ago. There's no other sort of nothing else you get.
No,
really.
that's what I expected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weirdly vague. Nobody seems to know much about her background.
Interesting. Good to know.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was it.
So, before dawn, on the day
Daybreak.
of the 2nd, let's double check. Yeah, the 2nd of spring. The party gathers together.
Ah!
Very good.
Bravo.
As you make your way from the Adventurers Guild down to the docks, sort of sticking to the shadows, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible, you go in waves. So the two of you make your way, Kasaki and Drazda, and then Vincent and Odie. Brukar, meet them at the docks. As you can see, Captain Sarcher sort of hooded on the boat, very inconspicuously sort of making her preparations ready to leave. The crew already up and moving, but again all hooded and sort of looking as secretive as ever. You see the usual faces. Mirabelle, Joseph, Savian, Rocco, all making themselves busy preparing ropes, hoisting sails, but, keeping everything as low-key as possible. Sacha nods as you and sort of lets you all aboard. Thank you. Come below deck, and sort of takes you towards sort of her room and says, right, we'll make our way around. The plan still as you thought before, making our way at first north and heading round, or are we going to go straight there?
The same plan.
Same plan.
Right, fine.
Scratch the back of Bruca's ear.
Oh.
Right, that would explain. Okay,
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's amazing, by the way. Where did you learn to do that?
Yeah, when you spend enough time learning the way, I'll tell you about it later. Do
Fantastic.
you have a cook on board?
Well, Mirabelle does her best, but...
Right. See you guys later. I'll go find Mirabelle.
You can see she's busy sort of getting things ready on deck, but sort of like nods.
I'll just help her out.
Yeah, fantastic. As the ship is made ready to leave, after about 10-15 minutes of having your supplies loaded, you can see hidden behind the railings on the deck the familiar canopies of the tents that will be erected that you'll be staying in.
Yep.
Again, it's going to be cold. You've got your camping equipment. How best to describe this? The Falling Star is a small boat. It looks closest to what you would imagine a keel boat to look like, a river-going boat. Very sort of fairly long, fairly wide, but not very deep. There's not much of a sort of hull to it. Once you go into the below deck, it almost feels like going into sort of reverse attic, like squeezing yourself down. There's not really much movement room. It's a small ship, but it's fast. This thing has been built for speed and maneuverability as opposed to being weighed down with cargo. It is a shuttle rather than
A cargo ship.
a cargo ship,
Yeah.
effectively. Eventually, you can hear Sacha sort of making sort of signals to the dock keeper, who sort of waves a torch in response. You can see dawn beginning to slowly come into view as the Falling Star is let go of its holdings and its sails out of Yibrit, out of the dock. You can see in the morning light already as the sails are hoisted and Captain Sacha standing by the helm. Again, that sort of familiar tingle of magic as she sort of seems to gesture the air and fill the sails as the air backs straight from behind to the front, positioning as the reasonable breeze of the morning air, that damp, cold, again, no snow, but still mist and dew and dragon's breath from your mouths as you huddle up against the cold. You feel the ship just take the weight of the sails and you start to sail out of Yibrit.
Is there anybody watching us leave apart from like the
Make a perception check.
Yeah. 6.
Nobody that you see.
Cool.
No, everybody seems to be either asleep or going about their business in regular
like
ships.
quartermaster
It's a reasonably busy dock. There's probably 10-15 people, so
Yeah.
you're not going to go unnoticed. But
Yeah,
you're hoping
Yeah.
the commotion that's been made by Vincent and Odie and Shanks and everybody else who think you're going to Gallon to the north will give you enough breathing room. As the sun rises and the ship sails to the north, catching already the wind and making good ground, not quite bouncing over the waves, but there's in every sort of third or fourth wave you sort of skip and land a little harder as the boat picks up some speed. You can see Sacha, the wind in her hair, as she sort of takes the wheel and is perfectly gliding the ship sort of round the waves. You all gather on deck as she sort of summons you. Right, the plan... half a day from Yibrit, keep it out of sight, and we're going to go west and round. It should be about 5.5 days to Zeliddier. What we'll do, the crew will do their best to sort of keep me company. I suggest we take 3 shifts. We have a morning, an evening, and a night shift. People will all need to stick in, help with the ship, the running of it, keeping everything going. We'll need to keep watch, take shifts. Who wants to do what? So for the purposes of this, we have the 3 of you. We have Sacha, we have the crew, we have Kasaki, and we have Drazda, Vincent and Odie.
I was going to say, what happened to those guys?
So there's 11 people on board, if I'm thinking correctly?
There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of you
12.
in total.
'Cause- okay.
So 4 for each shift.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can
Okay.
do it as you like.
I'm happy to keep a lookout, but may I suggest that I help or even take over cooking?
You're very welcome to, but you will need to do a shift on deck if possible. I mean, you don't have to, but we need as many
I'm
people
sure
on
we can
deck as
schedule
possible.
it so that
Yes.
In case of bad weather, in case
Of
of
course.
keeping an eye.
But during cooking times,
Of course. Are you a good cook?
I have magic to make use of what we've got.
Oh,
Well, that's just great.
that sounds
Fantastic.
thrill.
Wonderful.
If possible, Master Brooker, I would request to be on the same shift as you, as when we are not on shift, I would like to discuss the appropriate way to track a beast. It is a skill which I will need when I become an Inquisitor. I would like to pick your brain as much as I can until then.
Okay, yes.
You did mention this before. Well, we would have done a
Bit
little bit.
busy.
No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
but
That's fine. We'll
this is
we'll
survival
take that
stuff,
into
yeah.
account. That's fine.
So Theren will, other than that, volunteer just to help with like physical menial tasks.
Okay, you're helping with the shift. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. What shift do you want to take? That's the question.
Not cooking time.
So
Wow.
is that evening you're thinking then?
Cooking will be evening.
You can
so
do bulk cooking. You know, get some food and just keep it safe.
Do it in
The ship has very
morning.
basic equipment. There's a small stove powered by coals, but it's very small and very contained. Obviously, fire in a ship is never a particularly good thing. So it's all
Essentially,
kept
I'm
very-
going to be using the spell Goodberry, but in this form it will be kind of spices and nuts and things to enrich whatever eating to kind of save on rations.
Ah.
And the spell Goodberry, for our audience at home,
Tell me more.
so I'll be doing this once per day, up to 10 berries, but could we do it so it's like nuts and spices?
You
'Cause-
can cast it twice if you want to get all 12 in. Yeah, of course.
no, I'll do it once. Someone can just eat some rations. In your hand,
Bastard.
infused with magic for the duration, a creature can use its action to eat one berry, restores 1 hit point, and the berry provides a nourishment to sustain a creature for 1 day.
Perfect.
Wow.
We shall allow that. That's fine. So, 10 members of the ships will not be eating rations, which is pretty good, actually. So, we'll say, unless you are just eating berries, you will use some of the ingredients to sort of pad out a
Flavour
meal.
it, you can't just eat berries.
Exactly. So, what was...
Theren will volunteer to eat the most plain thing.
So, we'll
God.
suggest that you probably, out of a crew of 12, you can get by on 4 rations a day,
Cool.
Nice.
which is good. It all helps.
That is
Never
helpful.
know. This,
Okay.
you know, if we
Probably the
get
most useful use of
So, just
Goodberry
remember,
ever.
every morning, mark off a level
a
1.
spell,
Level 1 spell slot. That's fine.
by default, I'll have 1 off.
Fantastic. Right, so we need shift people. Who wants the morning shift? Who are you going to stick on the morning shift?
I was going to say probably
Then,
these two.
yeah, I'll
if
be
they
with
go.
him.
Yep. So you two. So we've got Bruca, we've got Theren.
I'll probably go on a different shift. I'll go whichever shift Jazda wants to go on.
Drazda has...
Sorry.
No. Drazda, I think, has dark vision. So
I'm happy to go
we'll
at night.
probably go at night. And I imagine that's a good thing for
Actually, that probably
you
is good. I'm
with
not-
your new goggles.
Oh
yeah.
my god! Yes!
Exactly.
Sorry. I completely forgot. I just picked them.
Yep, Drazda's got dark vision.
I
So
know.
You look like a dork.
they look hilarious. They look like big aviator goggles. The big, thick lenses with just black. Everything has been tinted so that no light goes in apart from like direct. And again, you two of you feel a slight magical enchantment coming from these.
The buns, the goggles, and then me.
Perfect. So the two of you will go
Well,
down.
morning nights, yeah.
Kasaki
Can't say anything.
will volunteer to take the afternoon shift, as well as Sacha, who enjoys having the wind in her hair and the warmer time of day where possible. The crew,
Split
unless
the
you
crew.
say otherwise, are going to split between you. So 2 of the crew will take the night shift because they're nice like that. So we'll go Mirabelle,
It's it's
and
unlikely
Joseph.
that Odie and Vincent will take the night shift. They like
Yeah,
to sleep
perfect.
on the
Savian
night.
will take the afternoon, and then Rockall will take the day shift. Who else have we can say? Vincent and Odie. Vincent will take morning, and then Odie will take afternoon. Fantastic. So, as the morning makes its way I would like... So, I'm going to have to... I've written blue. I'm so used to writing B for blue. It's actually B for...
Too soon.
Brooker. So,
Still
Brooker, Theren, Rockall and Vincent are all going to make checks. And actually, because we've got a lot of NPCs,
I was gonna say,
I am going to
We have more NPCs.
get
than,
a little
than
bit
people
of
in the
help
party.
here. So, I would like some
So many sheets of paper
volunteers.
there.
There are some-
Hello.
So,
I mean, you've got 3.
each of you can take one character. I need somebody to take Kasaki, somebody to take
I might as well
Vincent,
take Cass.
you take Cass, somebody to take Vincent, and somebody to take Odie.
Vincent and Albiodi.
Just like in old days,
Old
eh?
days. Old days.
Fantastic. So,
I talk
Brooker,
like this?
Theren, Rockall, and Vincent all need to make perception checks for me, please.
Okay. Perception.
Yes. Ooh.
15 for Theren.
21 for Brooker.
21,
I
okay.
thought 15 was a good roll for me, and you came straight in with 21.
Oh,
Natural 20.
was Vincent rolling? I couldn't remember.
Yep,
Yeah,
Vincent.
you got Vincent.
Vincent got a natural 20, which is... Oh, Jesus! Oh, he must have expertise. He's got 28.
28.
Wow.
Okay, fantastic. The first shift, or you're all excited and paying attention, is you're all helping. You can see at this point, Rockall takes the wheel of the ship and is guiding it onwards. Sacha sort of makes her way back down, and you can see while she's not on the sort of the top by the helm of the ship, the wind is slightly more chaotic, but it's favourable to you at the moment. As the ship makes its way north, you do not spot anything apart from birds coming from Yibrit and sort of making their way back to shore. Every now and then you see a sort of large cresting wave as fish sprout and leap into the air, but the weather is fine. It is cold but clear and breezy. The ship begins to turn round and makes its way round Yibrit and starts to as Sacha takes her afternoon shift. Kasaki, we've got Sacha, we've got Savian and Odie will make their checks.
Perception again.
Perception again. Oh, Savian gets 22.
15 for Cass.
15.
9 for Odie.
9 for Odie.
That's unusual.
And
She's not +5 though.
Yeah.
She's not very good. Maybe she's like,
Sacha
great.
gets...
I love the sea.
Okay, 14. So,
Look at the fishies. Sorry.
it's
Christ.
Savian that spots it. The ship is making its way and you're beginning to turn just on an arc from north sort of through west, and you're sort of now going south. You reckon you've got a few tens of miles between you and Yibrit, making a sort of perimeter of circle. As you can see, Savian sort of is looking into the distance. Captain, something on the horizon. And you sort of look, and you can see just on the horizon. Now that you're pointing, very difficult to see in that hazy distance between where the sea ends and the sky starts. Just as it begins to get dark, you see what appears to be another ship. Its destination, difficult to say. Its direction, difficult to say. Its speed, difficult to say, but it's there. And it gets darker and darker, and you lose track of it. That evening, it'll be Aubrey. We've got Drasda, Mirabelle, and Joseph. So we'll do those three. Drasda gets a 5, the crew get 15.
Do I? So
60 feet is the dark vision, I think.
So yeah, I know I can't see for miles. But does that mean I just roll straight? I don't roll it.
Roll straight.
That's what I wanted to
Roll
double
straight.
check.
Now, I'm not going to make you roll with disadvantage, but it's harder to see in the
Yeah,
dark,
that's
so
cool.
the DC is...
By the light of the moon.
That's 14.
Yep, 60 feet. 14, 15, 15,
Sweet.
and then 5. Okay, so decent roll. Nothing else is seen that night. With the darkness, the stars are out. You can see that sort of airless sky. The wind starts to drop. You can see the stillness of the night. There's that glazy... The sea is still moving. You can see the stars beautifully light up, and just in the middle of the night, an aurora begins softly, the lights illuminating perfectly into the horizon, the greens and the pinks and the blues illuminating, blocking out the stars, which now have formed thick belts across the sky. Beautiful weather, but it's cold. The breath on your... Not as cold as the dead of winter, but...
Pretty chilly.
Really getting cold.
Grist.
Yeah,
Grist?
exactly.
Grist.
As morning
Try.
rises, Bruca, you cook her for everybody in that morning, and then it's Bruca, Theren, Rockall, and Vincent to make perception checks.
That's good. 8 for Theren.
22 for Bruca, and for Vincent, ooh, not so good. Vincent got a 13.
13. Okay, 8, 22, 16, 13. So, that morning, as the sky begins to brighten, the ship is now heading directly south. The wind, you can see Captain Sarcher sort of dreary-eyed, having slept through the night, sort of comes out. You can feel the sort of the hands. She now stands on the deck, actively guiding what she can of the wind, but just, oh, for God's sake, I thought we'd have weather. I haven't seen it this still in ages. I mean, what's the point of this? Instead of hurling out, and it's just still. The boat is beginning to slow. You can now feel the waves rolling you to and from as just all of you stood there watching your progress. You're trying to gauge. It's very difficult. Every now and then the crew will throw a rope overboard with knots to sort of see how quickly it moves, and you can tell the boat has slowed almost to a crawl by this point. It is still. As it got a 22? Bruca, you see behind the ship, on the horizon, the silhouette of a boat. You can see large sails. It's just on the horizon. You think it's either facing you or facing directly away because of the flatness of the sails. But it's on the horizon. It's distant.
Captain, have you spotted there's a ship over there? I can't tell if it's going our way or not, but just thought I'd point it out.
You can see Sarcher makes her way to the back of the boat, and from the sort of thing she pulls out a spyglass. You can see it just sort of looks very...
Trust me, it's there.
I can see it. It's far away, really on the horizon. I can't get any detail. It's just, God's sake, she sort of takes it and is like rubbing the lens as best she can. Bloody thing is smudged. So pops it down. Right, we'll keep an eye on it. If there's anything hostile, we can easily outrun it. And she holds her hands up, we can get some bloody wind. I'm sure the weather will turn.
I do have spells for wind, but it's very much instantaneous. I can't really keep it up.
Yes, save your strength. Let's see if she's got something.
I sort of look to her and go,
She's sort of like,
okay, don't worry. I just...
No.
You're more
but
likely
you can
to have
see
an
now
idea.
she sort of like looks up to the mast and sort of looks at the ship and just sort of and climbs up the wood. You can see the claws on her feet and hands just digging in, climbs her way onto the wood and perches on top of this mast, swaying, sort of looks out and just ventures down.
Okay.
And she sort of is peering towards it, keeping an eye out, very enthusiastically, just like on it.
I'm like, we might have to pay for that damage to the mast.
Does the thumbs up mean that the thing is coming towards us or
I think
away?
she's just happy to be doing something.
Right.
How has she been on this whole trip for the last day or so? Like she's
Make an insight check.
You give it those.
I'm not bad. That's 18.
Oh.
She's been very quiet, but since the announcement of the trip, she seems distracted in a good way.
Yeah.
Application of feeling like she's helping.
Yeah.
Anytime any plans of this could help Blue, anything that is brought up, she's immediately perks up.
Mm-hmm.
She is often lost into sort of more morose thoughts when she's left alone, or is on one of the multiple points where nothing's happening on the ship, but she seems cheerful, more cheerful than she was in Yibrit.
Sure. Does she seem still sort of nervous, sort of like skittish?
Yes.
Still, okay.
Yeah, she's still very skittish. The
But
stutter is
still-
still strong.
Yeah, it's not
But
like she's got rid of
when
it.
she's doing something, there's a distraction. The nerves seem to be at bay.
Good to
If
know.
that makes sense.
That's
It's only when she notices that she's nervous that she becomes nervous.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
self-perpetuating. Yeah, she'll be fine. Let her look up there. And to be honest, she's got better eyes than me. I take the goggles off because they've been on all morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Rings around
So-
the eyes.
Yes.
As the morning passes, the wind dies further. By midday, the ship is barely moving in the sea. The movement of the waves is all that is keeping the boat moving. You can see Sachin now at the helm, just that there's nothing for her to grab, and her arcane power, she just seems to be like really, and keeps looking behind us. So for the afternoon shift, can Kasaki, Sacha will make it with advantage because she's got her spyglass and she's looking at something now. Savian and Odie.
Yep, you first, go for it. Oh.
Whew, Savian's even better, even with Sacha's bloody spyglass.
7 for cast.
7,
A natural 20 for Odie. She's actually paying attention now.
unnatural 20. At some point, and nobody's quite sure when, Odie takes ownership of the spyglass. Should have just squirrels it from Sacha, who just seems to sort of let it go. And you can see
Could I
Odie
possibly? Okay.
going quiet. And you can see it just focusing on it. And it's Savian sort of makes his way over and sort of peers over. You can see Odie just sort of mutter to him, and he's like, Oars. I can see oars. It's
Yeah.
getting closer.
They're moving.
And you can see, looking now, the boat definitely larger on the horizon.
Do we have oars?
No.
Damn it.
No, this
All
boat,
right.
you can see such... I'm sorry, the boat
okay,
is streamlined. We are...
Yeah.
Any wind I can control. It doesn't matter which way the wind is facing. I can get the boat to move. I just can't create the bloody stuff. I just
Yeah, you
manipulate
need the
what's...
wind, yeah.
Right.
Right.
I don't know how I can do it. But ever since I have, we haven't needed anything else because it's never this still. We're in the middle of the sea.
It's fine. Odie, how far away exactly? Do you have any idea?
She's sort of looking up. You can see Drazda sort of makes her way down the mast, sort of asks the spyglass, which is then past her. She makes her way back up, comes back down. And 5 miles?
5 miles. Okay.
All right. Odie, Drazda, and myself will take position at the rear of the ship. We'll come with defense if they come within range and begin attacking. Is anyone else good at range?
Do you think we're going to get it? And such as like, well, we have capabilities. Right, and directs towards the crew, and you can see Mirabelle starts to sort of crank some of the wood up from the front of the ship, just pulling a sort of secret trapdoor that clinks up. 3 of them disappear. You can hear lots of like sheets being lifted and things being moved, and slowly there's a over the next 3-4 minutes, a platform is lifted to fill in the space of where the trapdoor was, and you see a large-looking ballista, about 5 feet across, small enough, but with a small stool that has been sort of embedded into a rotating circular disc that sort of clicks into gear. You can see so this will be Rocco, the person who wasn't helping, just retrieves from the supplies about 20 large-looking bolts that could have connect into these things. They look more like javelins. As he sort of, with a clunk, they all rest onto the floor as he brings them through. Theren, Kasaki probably would be helping him right now. You're just sort of making yourselves busy. That's all we've got in terms of weaponry. We normally outrun things. We don't fight. The Falling Star is not. We are not a military ship.
No.
The
No.
crew. We need to sail the ship, especially in combat. I need the crew out of here. They can fight. They have crossbows, but I'd rather they didn't.
Dan, that's fine. We can.
I
do
have
this bit.
a DM question.
Yes.
That is a ballista. In mine and Cass's training, have we dealt with ballista?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You've dealt with all manners of crossbows. The mechanics of this thing. You're looking up and down the ballista itself, and actually the 2 of you begin to sort of look around and very quickly appraise it. You believe this ballista in terms of sort of its capabilities. Where have I put my notes? There we go. Too many books. So
many
little
books.
time.
Not a thing.
You believe the ballista can be moved, controlled, and then fired. It can be effectively aimed, fired, and then reloaded by one person. But in theory, its optimum state would be to have 3 people. One person moving it, the second person then aiming the ballista itself. So the platform can spin and be lifted and lowered, and then the ballista itself, after that point, there's slight minuscule adjustments. So it doesn't really move too much on this platform, but it can adjust to aim to arc it effectively and to hit particular targets. And then a third person reloading it. So you would think it would take an action to do each. So if it needs to fire and then completely reload, it would be 3 actions.
Right.
You think it probably has a range. You're sort of eyeing it up. Anything within your Eldritch Blast range, you could probably hit fairly well. Anything beyond that, it could probably fire. This thing's powerful. It could probably fire 480 feet, you reckon? But it would be disadvantaged at long range. And you think this thing could pack a punch. You wouldn't want to get hit by it.
Cass, can you take care of the aiming and firing?
Yes, of course.
Aubrey, can you assist?
Of course.
Right. We're going to need one more volunteer to help with the ballista.
You can see Rockall sort of. I can help reload if you need.
Stay with these two.
Right. And we sort of like he sort of begins to show you how it works, and you can sort of pull in. So out of you and Cass, do you want to be doing the aiming, or do you want to be doing the arm work, effectively?
I could probably be doing the arm work. I am push up Cass out the way.
Okay, so Kasaki will get to fire it.
Yeah,
Fine.
that's fine.
The rest of you, what are you doing?
Get out my longbow.
Yeah, Bricka, you can see this very sort of elegant elven bow sort of pulled out. I imagine the arrows themselves are fine works of art as well.
And put on my mask and put on my studded leather cloak.
Mask?
Yeah.
What's the
Brukar
mask?
suddenly looks much more ready for... He looks totally different. He's no longer in waistcoat or like sort of gentrified in any way. Suddenly how would you describe your look generally?
So the waistcoat's still underneath, but
Smart pouch.
I've kind of got this kind of long cloak that goes over and a hood that comes up with a kind of a wooden mask that covers my face, which I bought last episode, I think.
Nice.
Okay.
I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
And this kind of cloak, it's got studs on it, wooden kind of like almost toggles going all the way up, and those are holding kind of thick leather pads on the inside that provide extra armour.
Oh. Nice.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Sancha gathers the rest of sort of the crew together. Right. If we need to fight, the only method of transport we have are the sails. The sails are taken out. We are dead in the water. We need to keep the sails. The helm, she points towards the wheel, and sort of the rudder behind, again, is important. If that gets taken out, we can't steer.
Right. Everyone who isn't assisting with the ballista or fighting ranged deal with damage and repairs. Sarcha, if anything happens and you can get us out of here, don't hesitate. Just do it straight away.
Right. I have range capability. I've seen you blast at a distance before.
That's correct.
She sort of points towards Brukar. That's a bow. Fantastic. Just, if any of you get the chance, aim for important people, aim for modes of transport, just...
We've done this before.
Right, and she sort of nods. I strangely feel reassured. You can see Drazda is sort of like on the mast, and you can see just like in her hand, she's just sort of caught, and there's this flames just slowly...
MVP.
MVP.
I would like to look up at Drazda and call out to her, just like last time.
Sort of, you can see that cat-like grin of the teeth.
Cutie.
Can I
I
just
smile back and nod.
ask, are we worried by these people?
It's just a precaution, Brooker.
Good. So we're not
Well,
automatically...
Not on sight.
Priority is that we escape.
Yes.
If they're lethal,
Yes.
Yeah.
which they probably are.
Might be the same ship, might be a different ship. We don't know.
Yeah. You can see Odie and Vincent have their bows out. Actually, new bows, both now with a long bow. You can see sort of like
Vincent's
sort of
upgraded.
cocked. Yeah, you can see the beautiful workmanship as they're sort of like, you can see them sort of stretching out a little bit, and then eventually after sort of a minute or two, Odie's like, "Oh, for God's sake, you muppet!" and takes Vincent's bow and gives her his. He's like, "I told you, but no, that's mine. No, it's not yours. Look, it's got O on it." Oh goodness, I totally missed
Oh my
that as they're sort
God.
of bickering away.
While they're bickering,
adorable.
can I steal the spyglass off Odie? Just to take it.
Yeah, just sort of absent-mindedly gives it, yeah.
And then I'll keep an eye on it.
Perfect, make a perception check with advantage
Wow.
as you track this thing coming in.
With
Ooh.
advantage, 16, so the plus is 24.
24.
No, 23.
23. Okay, fantastic. Have we... Yeah, Kisaki and Aubrey... Actually, she sort of nods to you. This is where we're best. I have no range capability whatsoever.
I have now all range capability, but don't worry, I'll stay here for a bit.
Okay. Well, if they board, we leave. Correct?
Ooh, yeah. Is that hashtag? No, hold on.
Hashtag?
I'll explain.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, don't worry.
And she's sort of like
hashtag
loading up as well, and you can see that like she starts organising all of the bolts in like perfect order on the deck to make sure that they
It
can
doesn't
like.
matter. It doesn't matter. Okay.
It does matter, Aubrey.
It does not.
We need to be reloading this thing as quick as we
Yeah,
fire
we
it.
don't need to put them in the head. We're just bickering as we're like.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, totally. And you can see Sartre, she's on the wheel. She sort of looks to you there, and you can see just that sort of slight crackle of lightning around her claw. I have a bad feeling about this.
Theren is going to turn to the crew, everyone, and with his voice raised, "None of us want this fight, but we will get through this. If there's someone innocent, we will not harm them, but if these other people we all think they might be, take no prisoners. Our priority is escape, but they cannot know where we are going. Is that understood?"
Nods from the crew as they're busy themselves again, like desperately moving the sails, continually adjusting them to whatever small gust of wind there is.
Sheriff,
So,
watch over us all.
over the next couple of hours, as you hit about sort of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you watch as the falling star just sort of very loosely, limply, sort of just plodding away through the ocean. You watch as this vessel from behind you begins to get closer and closer and closer, and eventually you start to hear it. As you hear a drum, you can hear a drum being just hit to a rhythm, and you start to watch as you can see the oars in time with the drum, almost being egged on. There is training here. There is a purpose to these oars. As it gets within sort of maybe a kilometre or so, you hear a
Would we know?
of a horn. Make a nature check.
Would we know that's like a war horn or something?
Make a nature check.
Yeah.
Can everyone make that?
No, bad.
I would not know.
Bad, under 10.
Would
I think Theren might know. I wouldn't know.
Theren, you can make a
Nature,
nature check for me.
5.
Yeah.
That's 5.
Who else might know this?
Maybe Satra, perhaps.
15.
No, not such a 15. Yeah, it sounds menacing.
Not great.
Warhorn.
Yeah, as you just see this vessel getting closer and closer and closer and closer, and you now start to see it come into sight. It is a large ship with 3 sets of sails, very similar in size to the Athena, beginning to now dwarf the falling star already. You can see crow's nest at top, a large steel ram attached to the front of this ship. The whole front plated in steel, and rows, about 8 oars on each side of the ship, pushing it forward and forward. Its sails are up too, and you can see quite clearly that it's getting some wind, but it's the oars pushing it forward and forward and forward. And you see the individuals on deck. The deck is busy. You can see on the sort of the sails and around the mast and on the netting and all around the just generally being busy. You see grey, green sort of flesh. Humanoid figures, as tall as humans but muscly and strong and ragged. You can see teeth protruding from their gums, sort of hitting like both down and up on their faces. Large, ugly faces. I'm just trying to describe very long faces. It's purple and the green. Everything is sort of a faded grey skin tone. Everybody make a nature check for me. I'm sure on average someone will get this.
17.
13.
Oh, not bad. Nature 17.
You will get this. Orcs. Orcs are known to you as being civilized, but aggressively civilized. They are known to raid, pillage, capture. They have no regard for the rule of law or for safety. This doesn't look good.
No reasoning. Let's do it.
Oh, we swore an oath to kill these things.
As the ship gets powered forward and forward and forward, you start to see a crunk. A ballista is raised at the front of the ship
One too.
as it comes in. As
How
this
close
ballista
then?
is fired, 480 feet.
Oh,
So they're going to do it at disadvantage.
Odie and I can start shooting arrows
Yeah.
at disadvantage.
Unfortunately, your ballista is on the front of the ship. You're trying to turn it, and it can
Yeah.
do about 180, 270
Yeah,
degrees,
well,
but it can't shoot directly behind the ship, unfortunately. As this thing starts to fire, but you can see the bolt splashes in the sea about 30 feet away from the boat. But it starts to fire. So we're going to take a break here, and we'll come back ready for a bit of the ship battle. So, see you in a second.
Shit battle, yeah.
Ship. Fiona, welcome back to our map. This is fantastic. So, for your reference, we have a few things. It's a very busy looking map. The smaller boat, furthest away from me, closest to the camera, is your boat, the Falling Star. So you can see Aubrey, Kasaki, and some of the crew are at the front of the boat. Who's that, Rockwell? Yep.
Yeah.
At the front of the boat, manning the ballista, which unfortunately is on the wrong side of the boat, but there you go. Theren and the rest of everybody else are currently gathered towards the back of the boat, looking around and assessing. You can see the boat approaching you, a much larger... It's not quite a sailing boat. It looks like a long boat of sorts. Much longer. It looks like it's got a much larger crew. And suddenly the sides of it are higher, whereas the Falling Star makes its way 15, 20 feet out of the sides of the, above the ocean. This thing stands 40, 45 feet tall. It's clearly got layers to it in the same way that the Athena did. And the crew appeared numerous. So, what I'm going to ask is at what point do people want to start doing things? What is the range threshold of which you start to do something? Because from 480 feet, this thing begins shooting towards the Falling Star. You've already seen one bolt just harmlessly splash into the ocean about 30 feet from the boat. At what point does everybody else start to do something? Because otherwise the boat's just going to continue making its way, and this thing is going to continually approach.
So you say we want to try and move the boat so it's not like straight. It's when we want to try and move it away, right?
Yeah.
Try and turn it.
Theren would instruct Bruker to, if possible, manipulate the water so the ballista can fire.
So
Okay.
using control water to redirect the flow of the water.
Okay. Fantastic. So this is a 4th level spell,
Yeah.
control water.
So Bruker wipes a mote of dust off the side. Handrail? What would be the northward
Yeah.
of the ship?
Rail, yeah.
Gets a water, rubs it together, puts it inside his pipe, and he doth smoke it. And then you feel the water beneath the ship as the ship begins to move. And I can pass you I can read out the description.
Yeah, read it out. What does it do?
So it's concentration up to 10 minutes, 1 action.
Okay.
Until the spell ends, you control any freestanding water inside an area you choose that's in a cube up to 100 feet on a side. You can choose from any of the following effects. Blah, 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 blah. Various things. I could have done a tidal wave to hit it, but there's a chance it would have completely balls up. So So I'm going to do redirect flow. You cause a flowing water... cause flowing water in the area to move in the direction you choose. If it's not flowing water...
I mean, it's moving though, right?
What would you like to do?
Okay. The water in the area...
This is Bruker's decision. You can...
The
Bruker will
water
kind of
in
see...
the area moves as you direct it. So I'm going to move it in such that it kind of slowly turns the ship.
Fine,
and
yeah.
moves it.
I would rule that the spell, because the sea is not really moving in a particular direction, it wouldn't be able to propel the boat. But turning,
that's
fine.
Yeah.
So over the course of, I'm just trying to think if you say that the boat could probably move about 10 feet in around such a large boat with the power of that spell, it would probably take you about 3 rounds to turn the boat.
Yep.
Of continual effort. So are you turning it so it's 90 degrees on, effectively? Or do you want to stop it at some point?
So we can use the ballista.
Okay, you'd have to turn it about 45 degrees minimum.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
Let's start with that and see how we're doing by round
Alright,
3.
turn the boat. That's fine. So that'll take you 2 rounds to push it that
And I'll
far.
head down and get in cover because we don't want that ballsing up if I get hit.
Yeah? Fine.
Oh, but should I be standing near you?
You can
You
get
can-
down
yeah,
you're
low.
in cover,
I'm assuming
you'll be
everybody's like using the boat as
Okay.
cover.
I'm
You've got
getting
partial cover.
Okay, cool.
If you want to get inside the boat, that's the only real space in the boat
Yeah.
that you could,
Hide.
in
If you're
theory, hide in.
inside, you'll be fine. But
There are sort of canvas canopies in the middle of the... But actually, Sachi
we
would have
would've
gotten
put
this,
them
taken them down.
if
Yeah.
you're going to be above deck, being as close to me is probably the best thing, just in case.
Okay, I'll stay around.
I'm guessing with the ballista, I think me, Rockle, and Kasaki would try and get it right, and we'll
Yeah.
wait for Theren to shout fire.
Okay, fine.
We'll wait for
So,
that.
we've had a shot at 480 feet. It'll get another shot at 450 and 420 as the boat moves round. So the ballista's going to get 2 more shots towards the boat. With disadvantage, no, that's a miss. And that's a miss. You can see this ballista just... As you can see, it's reloaded by multiple purple shapes. They're sort of cranking this thing. It looks ugly, but the ship is beginning to approach. Now, the map we've got here is 10 feet per square. So we haven't quite got to the point where the ship is that close, effectively. It's still 420 feet away. What I'd like you to do, so we've got a little bit of sort of a sense of order right now, is just roll me initiative. It's not initiative in the same sense, it's because there's some time leading into this.
Oh, there's it.
But let me know what, and can you roll it for your characters as well?
I lost Odie's sheep, and I was like, shit. I know,
What are you doing?
She doesn't get to go.
What are you doing?
Does she get advantage as well? She does. Oh, that's exciting. We both get advantage on our initiative.
Look at this advantage club over there. She gets advantage because Odie is a unearthed Arcana revised ranger.
Yeah.
Because that's the best ranger. It's so much better.
I've got mine if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm just taking to see what's the range on a light crossbow.
420 feet. Definitely.
Oh, yeah, I think I read it. It was that.
Yeah, do you want it to be 420
I
feet?
don't think so. I think
No,
they're
no,
shooting
no.
at
That's
us.
fine, that's
I think they're shooting
fine.
at us.
320. Okay, fine. So,
800 out.
Theren.
19.
19 Theren. What about Kasaki?
14.
14. Odie?
I was going to... You just roll, Sam.
Oh, yep, so Bruker?
5.
Okay.
And Vincent got 17.
17. As I say, this is not so important. This is just giving an
Yeah.
order to
Yeah.
combat because things will take a long some time to kick in.
Okay, so
Odie is
better. That is a 16
Yep.
advantage.
Odie. Yep.
Aubrey.
I would have capsized it.
Oh, Aubrey. Lucky girl. That's
This
a
is more fun.
19.
That's not how it would have worked.
What did you get, sir?
19 for Aubrey.
19 for Aubrey. Oh, that's so... I'm going to give you 20 because
Ooh.
I haven't given you enough space in my
Yay!
stupid initiative tracker.
Yay, special. I'm
As
the
you do.
favourite.
So we've
I
got
am the
Aubrey,
new favourite.
Theren, Odie, Vincent, Kaz, Drazda, Sarcha, Brukar, and the crew. That's everyone, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, the ship is now 420 feet. At what point... I see now the ballista will start to fire every turn.
And
Or are you waiting until you get
till
closer?
Theren shouted fire.
Okay, you're waiting. Fine.
Yeah, we're holding
Theren,
it
what are
ready.
you waiting till?
Okay, so longbow range. I would know what that is. What is it?
A longbow range. Is it on your sheet? Come now.
150
Well,
for accuracy,
it's-
600 at disadvantage.
Yeah, so you are in range at
Yes.
disadvantage
With the
right now.
longbow.
Okay. And is the ship pointing in the right direction for the ballista to hit, or is it still going to take a couple more turns?
No,
We're
we've
waiting
gone
for
through
you to
3
tell us
rounds,
when to hit
so the
it.
ballista is now holding until you get the order effectively.
Yeah,
Okay. How many shots do we have? 20, isn't it?
something like that. Yeah.
You got 20 shots there.
Right. Fuck it. Theren is going to raise Bear Claw above his head, glance back at Ballista Crew,
Yeah.
glance at everyone else, and at the top of his lungs, fire!
So, Aubrey,
Yes.
take the shot. So, it
Well,
is...
Technically, is it not Cass that takes a shot? Because she was
I
the
thought
one.
you said you were...
I
Oh,
was-
no, you were going to give it to Kisaki.
Yeah, I was going to give it to
Okay, so
Kisaki.
Kisaki's going to do it. So,
Yeah.
Kisaki is proficient with this weapon, but it is using her dexterity. So, it'll be proficiency plus dex. for
Do you want to
Kisaki.
fire it?
No, I said I wasn't. I said I was helping it.
Alright, cool.
And it's a disadvantage at this range. What are you aiming at? The hull of the ship? The people on the ship?
She would, I would say, probably aim at the sails.
Okay. The bolt
Okay.
flies.
First one's an 18,
Okay.
second one's a 10.
A 10.
Yeah.
And it just sort of arcs just wide at this distance, getting the arc. It goes slightly over the ship. There's a bit more power in it than you thought. There's a time now where Aubrey, you and who did we say, Rockall, are now like cranking the ballista to get another shot in as one returns fire at you. Nope, this time just splashes wide as it hits the sea. You can see Odie and Vincent will sort of just be aiming and both fire shots towards the boat now because they're going to just assume that you said fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I did yell fire.
Yeah. Nope. And Vincent might just get a hit in there.
Go, Vinny.
Perfect.
A small dagger.
So you can see it just land in the sort of massive bodies and just an arrow. Just you hear it from somewhere, but you're not entirely sure where.
Got one. That's one for me.
I'll mark down arrow.
Okay, so which direction is the boat being sailed in at this point? Are you just continuing at 45 degrees? Because this,
Yeah.
Yes.
you can see the larger ship is now turning and just going straight for you, effectively. And it's still catching you at about 20 feet per turn.
I think, I
Yeah.
assume that we keep moving and we would adjust the ballista to keep hitting.
That is exactly
so
what
Brewcar is keeping the slight turn.
Yep.
So you can do it.
So the water direction is kind of that, I'd guess.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to just basically go in a large turning circle then.
Okay.
Kinda.
And
Or it's just
eventually-
that the front of us gets pushed around.
So there is, what would it be, 6 more rounds until the crossbows of the orcs come into range. So I'm assuming you're taking 6 shots with the ballista.
Hold on. Before that happens,
So this is 420 to 300 feet.
does Theren get a turn?
Yeah,
At
yeah.
any point? Great. What he's going to do is cast Bless on the Ballista Crew.
Perfect. Do it.
Oh,
Yeah. So the ballista
yes.
crew are now
So,
blessed.
bless 3 creatures in 30 feet. That's not going to reach us at the back, I'm afraid, I don't think.
Nope.
No. So whenever the creature makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends, add 1d4 to the total. Lasts for 1 minute.
Okay. Fantastic.
1 minute, okay.
Yeah, so whenever you do anything, d4.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, perfect. So the boat begins to approach and it gets to 300 feet. So this boat will get 6 attacks with the ballista at disadvantage, but there's nothing else it can do at the moment, and you get 6 attacks with the ballista. Is Kisaki taking them all?
I'm happy to take it. I'm happy as Kazaki to do it. She's proficient in it. I'm not.
You wouldn't be proficient,
I wouldn't.
but you've got your dex. So
I do, but that's
Kasaki's got a dex of 0, so
No, she isn't. +1.
+1.
Yeah.
She's.
There you
It's fine. Don't worry. I've got a plan.
go. She has a plan, everybody. She
I do.
has a plan.
Right.
I seem to be in range.
First one, that's +4, 12, 15.
15. Are you gaming for the sails?
She's still.
This is all with disadvantage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just do that first.
Second one is
It's a little bit higher. So
17.
You don't get the bless stays the same on each. So you roll 2d20s and a bless. And you
Oh,
add the
okay.
blessed, whichever's
First
the
bless
lowest.
was 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that.
So 15.
15 on. Yep, 15 is a hit.
Right.
Roll. Let me know how many hits you get.
What is it to roll?
2d20s. Take disadvantage and add the d4 to it.
Someone else roll the d4 then, and I'll just.
I'll do that.
Okay. Shit, that's not going to do any good. 10. And final one. That's going to be 12. So 15, 10, 12.
Okay, you get six shots.
Yeah, so that's all.
Oh,
There's
fuck,
3 of you
sorry.
on it. So I can tell you now that
That's not going to do it.
this, the ballista from this ship, is aiming for the sails to sort of cut you out, and it gets 3 hits in out of 6. As the ballistas start to, like, one of them just passes straight through the sails, and you can see the rock that the sail gives and rips at the side. The second one catches the top of the mast and sort of glides off. You can see Drazda holding on for dear life as the third one smashes and takes out some more sail.
She always
So-
lets you compete.
This is some d10s, so let's do... So 1 ballista shot is... so the DC on the sails is 12.
4 out of 6.
4 out of 6 hit. And
Nice,
each ballista
guys.
shot does 3d10 damage.
Each ballista shot.
Yeah.
Right.
So roll some damage for me.
Hang on, well, you got some 3d10s there.
14.
last time. My hand is so small. Oh, so we'll do 1 first, so... Oh, does it count?
49 damage.
Alright, so
Ooh.
10, 10,
5,
5.
25.
So 25 damage on one of them.
Only use
Just count up the total for me if possible.
5, 11, so 36, 47.
47.
And Fiona?
Yep.
46, 47, 57, 58, 63.
And then we got 4, right?
Yes.
The last one. 58 we're on currently.
63.
63, sorry.
63, 71, 77,
So
81.
Nice, guys.
So 81 damage on the first. Can I just keep this?
Yeah,
So
give
on
it
all
that.
those shots, you do 81 damage to the
Yes.
sails.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, fine. So, as the boats both approach each other, the ballistas start firing as it arcs. Mark those 6 shots off, so you've now fired 7 of your 20 rounds, okay?
Mhm.
As the ballistas fire, you start ripping through the sails of this larger ship. You smash and smash. You actually take the top section of the back sail totally out as it smashes through the wood and collapses through. You can see the second sail is almost totally pulverized, and it's just the front sail, miraculously, is still looking in fairly good shape. You've taken this over 3/4 of their health down.
Wow,
They look
nice.
terrible. But the ship gets equally bad hits. It takes 49 points of damage to your sails. You're looking at about half strength. The falling star begins to noticeably slow down. Even at your point, you're moving at about half speed now. As the boat just starts to ripped in. You can see the big sails you've got. One side of the sails are almost completely tattered. And you can see Drazda sort of looking down. She starts to climb down. And you can see Hess trying to sort of like fix and cast mending on them as best she can. She's going to add a d4 to it, so that's she'll take 4 hit points back. She does some healing, and you can see they're desperately trying to repair it on the other ship as well, which they take some of the damage out of it. But their ship looks like it's fared worse in that particular arrangement than you.
Yeah.
However, at 300 feet, actually, Odie and Vincent get 6 shots as well at disadvantage.
And I'll join in with maybe 5 shots. 'Cause I can...
If you're using an action to move the boat, you can't fire a boat. Is it an action to use the spell? Have a look at the spell description.
To cast, I'm not sure if I have to focus on it every time.
I don't know. You tell me.
So how many shots was it for Odie? Sorry.
6.
First one at disadvantage. Sorry, that is a
12. Longbow? Oh, sorry, that's a 9.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's 9. Yeah. Sorry, that's a...
Don't bother. So they are aiming at the sails as well. You
Yeah.
can tell the arrows are not big enough to do damage to those particular sails. So they spend the time fighting, and then after the sort of the time has happened, after about 30 seconds of trying, and they miss a couple of shots,
Yeah,
they turn around. I don't think these weapons are working against the buggers. The sails, they're too big, they're too powerful.
Theren screams, hit the gunners!
Yeah.
Gotcha! And then they start readjusting.
Casting time 1 action, but it doesn't say I have to use any further action to keep it going, like any other concentration spell.
Okay. I will say if you're changing the water, then it would take an action to change it further from what your original casting says. We'll rule it like that. So assuming that the boat, you're pushing it in a sort of arc, I'll let it off. I'll say you probably have to spend 1 of those 6 actions to do it. So take 5 shots.
Okay.
Because you're actively turning the boat, if you sort of mean,
Yeah,
to
no,
keep
that
the
makes
blessing.
I'll let
range.
him do his first.
Disadvantage, and I'm aiming for the gunner, as
Yes.
you said. First one misses. Second one is 7 is
16.
16.
16. Just roll more for me.
Third one is 14. Fourth one is a natural 1.
Natural 1. Oh.
Fifth one
I
is
say.
14. And the sixth one, oh no, just 5. So
And 1 more for luck.
16, 14, 14.
Aiming for gunners.
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. So how many got above 13? 13 or above.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, roll for damage on 3 shots.
Nice.
Some of your shots find their targets.
Okay, nice. Okay, I'll get cracking on that.
Do you want to borrow a d8?
Yeah.
Just these?
Yeah, roll all those dice. Okay. So the boat is now 300 feet away. You can see now that it's closer. In the stillness as the boat is coming up and down and up and down, a couple of those hits hit the sort of the gunner's crew. You can see them hitting injured. We'll see how much damage it does. But the deck is full. To give you an idea, you reckon they are aimed with crossbows and just waiting to get in range. Every now and then one will sort of get agitated and click the crossbow and fly and just hit into the ocean before you, out of range. There are 10 orcs on the front of the boat, all with crossbows. You can see crew-wise, it looks like there are at least 13 orcs sort of milling about, looking at sails and doing things like that. There is a captain at the back, you can see, just sort of like ordering things around on the helm. And there are lots more orcs milling around with weapons, getting agitated. You count another 40 or so. In total, there's probably 60, 65 orcs that you can see easily on this boat. It is full.
Yeah.
A full working crew here of a large ship. So, how much damage?
29.
29. Okay, you very almost kill 2. You kill 1 in those shots, and now there's 1 health left on the second one. You totally take a member of the crew out. You can see barking orders from the back as one of the members of the like on the sails snarls, comes down and makes his way to the front, like replacing the injured. But you've got a kill. That's good. So
It only counts as 1.
Only counts as 1.
just going down. So we are now going to go from 200 feet to about 160 feet.
Okay.
Hang on, we're near at 300, aren't we?
We were at 300, yeah.
300. So we're going to go from 300 feet to about 160 feet, okay? So there are 8 rounds as this happens. And now the crossbows at the front of the orcs start to click and fire and all start peppering towards the boat. It looks like they're going for anybody stood at the back of the boat is fair game for them, effectively. So what we're going to do is I'll do some speed rolling here. The ballistas will get another 8 shots at you. I assume you're
plus
taking
4?
8 shots.
Can I borrow a d20 just to make this quicker? Thank you.
So 8 shots of the ballista. We've got Odie and Vincent will be taking 8 shots each as well. Bruca will say with the movement you can probably take 6.
Okay.
So let me know who you're aiming at, what you're aiming at, and we'll get some rolls in.
Natural 1. Don't even bother.
That's 1.
So the ballista misses twice,
16.
hits third time, hits fourth time,
That doesn't matter, does it?
misses fifth time, hits sixth time,
6,
misses seventh time.
16.
So it
How
gets
many?
3 hits and 3 more hits.
I've got 2 more to get.
Oh, it's 8, isn't it? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
We're only on 6. Yeah. It's really boring for people watching.
No, this is fine. This is good because
12.
this is the tension. It's just loads of projectiles arcing between the ships. Yeah, exactly.
17.
17. Also used up that natural 20. It's really sort of upsetting. That's my
Okay, the AC to hit the sails is 12.
Yeah, then that's going to be a
1,
few.
2,
3, 4, 5, 6.
yeah, 6 out of
6 of 8.
Yes.
Wait, were they supposed to be at advantage or disadvantage?
Disadvantage. Yeah, don't worry.
Cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
don't worry. I made sure.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 6.
Crunch those numbers.
So, how many hits did you get in?
6 of 8.
6 of 8. Don't even bother rolling for it.
Yeah, they're going to destroy it.
You've destroyed the zone. So, in the next, what would it be? 8 times 6. So, we've got 48 seconds, effectively. So, not even a minute as the boat starts to approach and is now within 160 feet of you. So, I don't know if we're quite within range to start
No,
using
not
the
yet.
map at
I
this
don't
point.
think so.
Probably not. But we're getting close. Both sets of sails are shredded beyond use. So, the falling star is now dead in the water. The sails are totally destroyed. You can see Drazda falls to the deck as the top part. She's going to take just 1d6 damage. Takes 5 points of damage just as she hits the deck and just sort of picks herself back up again. But the sails are dead. Equally, every single sail on this ship looks to be totally dead as well. The amount of how much damage did you do? You
We don't know.
because,
Didn't even
You
tell
didn't
us.
with that would be 18 d10. It's going to
a
do
lot.
it. It's fine.
a lot.
But the boat keeps moving forward
Because of the
and
oars,
forward because
yeah.
the oars on the sides are pushing it closer
Mm.
and pushing it closer
That's our plan.
and pushing it closer, and now it's gained to within 160 feet of you. Odie and Vincent and Brukar, you get 6 shots. Those two get 8. They're all at some point you'll get into range. So
Yeah,
what's the range of the longbow?
150.
150. They're all out of range at the moment. So they're all at
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Okay.
We will do. So we've got 10 crossbows firing 8 times at 80 hits. It's probably not the easiest thing to do at that. So let me think about how to do this. Let's say they're hitting everybody at the back. Everybody at the back of the boat make a dexterity saving throw.
This is why I'm here.
Do we get a bonus because of you?
Yes, +4.
So anyone
Nice.
within 10 feet of Theren gets a
Which
+4 bonus.
is everyone, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Everyone at the back.
Okay, +4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is an unnatural 20 for Theren.
Unnatural 20 to Theren. Yeah.
22 for Brukar.
22 for Brukar.
Natural 19 for Odie. Yeah, 19 for Odie. Sorry, I don't know why I said that out loud. Oh, so stressful.
Okay. The DC will be 12, so let me know if you pass or fail on
So
that.
Odie passes.
No.
Theren's fine.
It's Satra and Vincent.
Vincent is not fine.
What did you
Okay,
get?
so Vincent. So who's checking? It's Theren, Vincent, Odie.
Vincent's here.
So we need
Satra's
Satra. I
there.
think I assume Drazda's not down on the deck, so she's not being.
Drazda's towards the back. She's not
she's-
quite
yeah.
there at the moment.
Yeah, she's
she's
with us.
yeah.
That's
So
fine.
it's you failed. Okay, so who failed?
I think just Vincent.
Vincent.
Just
Everybody
Vincent.
else passed.
Yeah.
I don't know who did Satra. That's the only thing. We didn't.
Oh, Sarch is me. Sorry, dexterity saving throw. Sarch
+4.
passes. So roll some damage here.
Damage.
Odie's got
Okay,
so little health
so
compared to
Vincent,
Odie.
over the course of the rounds, Vincent's going to take 28 points of piercing damage. The rest of you take 14 as you are just
Oh my
pulverized in
God.
bolts, just coming over the side of the boat. They're all landing. You're trying to fight back, but keeping out of range is really difficult. So it should be 14 points of damage for everybody that's fine.
Alright.
And then we've got 28 to Vincent, who has a sorry time. He gets hit with one straight into the ribs and goes, oh, bugger me! And so it comes down and Vincent's like, Odie's like, oh no, come here. And so
She
rips
gets
it
hit
out.
as well.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, thank you. Thank you, I guess.
There's so little health.
Okay. So, the attack's back, however. So, let me know what happens. You each get 8 attacks at disadvantage for people with range.
Theren is still out of range.
Yeah.
Alright, well, you can help me then on this bit then.
I've done that.
Okay, so that is disadvantage. The first one is...
Okay, AC was 13 on Gunner Peeps.
Yeah, Gunner Peeps are 13.
22.
I got 4 attacks in,
Sorry?
dealing
Yeah.
a
You
total
write
of
this down.
28
22.
damage.
your
Dealing a
first
total of 28 damage.
yeah.
Okay.
And I will use my bonus action
attack.
to heal Vincent.
22 again.
Okay, yeah, well, you technically have 8 bonus actions, so you can
17.
spread that around as you want.
Yeah,
That's
so
absolutely
Who
fine.
is this you're rolling for?
Odie.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to use Balm of the Summer Corpse.
Yeah, it's not,
So you take
not
2 of them down, 2 of
Ooh,
these
that's
crossbow
good.
individuals
That
down.
is 26.
Just making a count, I've now got 3 guys.
18.
And I will heal.
How many is that so far? That's
Ooh.
5, is it?
Yeah.
Bollocks.
Was it 8 attacks or 6 for Odie?
That was 8.
Okay, so another 3 then. That's not going to hit. That's 12. No, that's 11. Final one is better. That is a 22.
Okay.
So out of all of them, we've got.
How many do we need to be over by?
I don't know.
13 is the AC.
Okay, so 2 missed.
So
1,
6.
2,
Roll for
3,
damage.
4,
Yeah,
5, 6.
roll all the damage up.
Fucking hell. Okay.
So you both doing Vincent and Odie, yeah?
I'm just doing Odie just now.
Okay.
I've been rolling Vincent. So.
Can
Perfect.
You
Oh, I will roll
D8?
Vincent, sorry. I haven't done that yet.
No, you're fine. You're fine. There's lots to do.
So,
2 characters at the same time,
this is really
guys.
difficult. So that's
Keeping you all busy, isn't it?
Yeah.
17.
Okay, Theren is going to...
Vincent's using a longbow
29.
or a short bow?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is he using short bow or longbow?
A longbow now.
Good.
Sorry, I didn't update it, so it's D8s. Because I am rubbish.
Advantage. And what have you commanded Vincent to aim for?
The crew, the
Aiming
gunners
for the gunners,
specifically. Can I borrow a D8, please?
Yeah, sure.
Theren is going to cast Cure Wounds on Vincent at 2nd level.
Okay, do it. Yeah, you've got technically 8 actions, so you've got time to do what you want at this point.
So Vincent gets 10 plus 4, 14 hit points for Vincent.
Perfect.
Okay, that brings him almost up to max because I've been healing him too.
Amazing.
Okay, so for Odie's attacks, I did 6 that hit a total of 59 damage. To
59 damage.
59, yes.
So it'd be 46. Would go dead, and then 14 health left. Okay, yeah, fine.
What about the ballista? Is that still firing as well?
What you've already fired.
We've already fired it.
Yeah, we're just doing this. We're
Sorry.
doing all
Right,
these.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
don't worry.
That's fine. So we're just waiting for Vincent's damage, and we'll be there.
Okay.
And I'll describe what's happened in this sort of chaos of the last minute.
And we're still out of 120 feet, right?
You're at 160 at the moment.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
Vincent hit 5 times.
Nice.
Very good.
Him and Odie are just fucking.
You guys are kicking some real damage out. They're getting shots back at you, but it's.
We're fucking.
Oh, Vincent, you sweet son of a bitch. Oh, Jesus, he just got 2 8s in a row.
Vincent, Hawkeye, Rogues,
A
man.
third 8! Vincent, MVP!
Are you rolling that dice properly?
Yes,
That
he's
was a
now
one.
got a 1, so yeah.
Okay, curse of the DM. We'll have a look at him and be like, what's going on here?
Okay, so that's...
Hawkeye.
6,
It's the big hat that does it.
14, 50 damage!
Still only counts
50
as
damage.
one.
I've just realised I was hit by crossbow bolts, wasn't I? Does that?
Yes,
so I need to
you-
make a concentration saving throw, don't
Yes, you do.
I?
Yeah.
What's the DC on concentration?
So what you were hit by 14.
So it's just 10.
10.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What are
it's
you concentrating on?
it's
Bless.
Constitution, isn't
Bless,
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Fine.
I'm also fine. Water keeps moving.
Yeah, that's fine. Good.
Good shout, boys.
Thank you.
Aubrey.
So the
That's
boat
everything.
now, like Sarch is like, I can turn the boat if you need me to, and is like by the helm, so she can manually turn the boat now if you need, just because she was keeping the
helping
wind
fight.
going and
Yeah.
moving the ship forward. But if you're going to get caught, she's going to be like, I'll take that.
We need to
free up,
save.
if that makes sense. Because at the moment you're taking some time and concentration to move the boat manually, whereas she can just turn the wheel and take her time.
Because we're now dead in the water. We can't use the sails.
But we have water moving.
But no, it's turning the boat. It's not pushing us forward.
You can push it, but it's pushing it slowly
Yeah.
because there's only so much force.
So
This is a gigantuan boat. Even the small, falling star, there's only so much emphasis you can do. There's still a little bit of movement, so she can just hit the wheel and then turn the boat maybe 45 degrees before it stops completely.
Yeah,
wanna go slower.
I was going to ask, when they hit us, which they inevitably do, what position should we be in? Do we want them to hit us broadside because they'll slice us in half?
No, we want to be have their back facing us. We get as many shots off of the blister as we can. Sarcho, we're going to need you to keep firing everything you can for now. Bruker, please, I need you to be aware and turn us when you can.
Right, I will stop firing and keep focusing on turning towards them?
No, away. Away when they get closer.
But which way? Well, we're currently going
which
this way.
Point
Sorry.
direction you
What
want
damage
us to
did
go?
Vincent do?
50.
50.
50 points of damage. Jeez.
He's a bit.
Yeah, I know.
got,
So their port
Oh, don't do
is
this.
facing
I
us.
don't.
The back, so the back of the boat. So they hit the back, not the side.
Okay, let
so
me
he wants
describe
us
what
to
happens.
move back where we were.
Well,
As
Yes,
This-
eventually.
larger ship
It's
begins
going
to
to move
approach,
towards
is
us.
now getting to 60. The bolts are flying either side. The ballistas have now taken out the sails on each side of the boats. Actual projectiles, arrows and crossbows. The majority of shots from both sides splash into the water or now thud into the side or don't hit anything purchased, but both sides are now getting hits. You've all taken hits, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 orcs have now been taken out with the crossbows. Most of them have now been skewered, and you can see the captain's like, sort of like shouting, getting more people to the front. You can see several of the members are like picking up crossbows, but you've done some damage.
Nice, good job, guys.
You're definitely winning the ranged battle. Your accuracy is far superior. You can see the crossbows that are being shot at you. There's a lot of them, but it's not very accurate. They're not fantastic in that way. I just realised that Odie actually fires twice, and in theory can be firing. So I'm gonna add.
And technically could have been Hunter's
I'm gonna
Mark
add another
and-
30.
Hunter's Mark is 60
And-
feet away of range, so...
And then Hunter's Prey would have been the other one.
So I'm gonna add another 3 kills on for her.
Thank
just
you.
to
Yeah, I
make
did
it-
see that, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's too late. I should have remembered that. But.
Thanks. So you've got 12 orcs down now. The boat moves to 140 feet now, so it should be 14 squares away from the boat. I can probably get that on the map now.
7, 8, 9, 10. Nope,
It's
still up.
still it's within.
Okay, you can push this back a little bit if you want to just sort of make sure it's
It's
like,
going away.
there you go. But we're now sort of
On the map.
map effectively. We're going to go through initiative order. So we go to Aubrey. You spending your turn on the ballista?
I can't do anything else, can I? Yeah, I'm just gonna help the ballista right now.
Okay.
I think we've only got like 5.
I will
left.
tell you, we have 7 shots
7
left.
left. Okay. Yep.
Okay, fantastic. So the boat is now moved to 140 feet, like closer to you,
Mm-hmm.
and technically, because you've been using your spell to kind of keep the boat moving forward when it's to an extent while you're stationary, you're kind of pushing it forward. So it would come 10 feet closer because it's moving 30 feet per turn with the oars. So if you want to spend your action using your spell to push the boat, you can get it a little further away effectively. Or you can just let the boat go now because you've been using some of your effort to do it. Well, we're streamlining the rules a little bit because we're doing a chase sequence effectively, but we're now into combat. The ballista from this boat will fire, and this time it looks like it's now firing in range. I think. I'm pretty sure that's in range. Let me just double check. The ballista range is 120. No, so it's still technically at disadvantage, but it fires now at the hull of the ship. You can see it goes 15, so hits. This one actually slams into the decking of the ship. That's 3 of these. 8, 14, 20 damage. As you can see, just a huge chunk of wood just goes and smashes up the side. At the moment, the damage looks fairly superficial, but the hull took a whack. You can feel it just sort of as the ship moves under the weight of it. Theren, 140 feet.
140? Bollocks.
Just, yeah,
Okay.
disadvantage.
No, I just...
Oh,
Because
there's
it's
way,
magic,
isn't it?
it'll
Yeah.
just dissipate.
You can try.
Theren will...
no.
We already know that it doesn't work. Stop doing that.
Can you do any healing?
How is everyone looking?
You can see.
Odie's taken damage.
How much damage is damage?
14.
Drazda's looking like she's taken a little bit of damage, but Drazda's not as tough.
Yeah.
Osacha, did she get hit as well?
She would have done.
She would have done. How much
Oh no,
damage?
no, she didn't. No, she was fine. It was just Vincent was the only one that. No, sorry.
No, Sacha,
Did
she
get hit.
passed, but she did get hit, so she's actually.
14.
Sacha's not looking great.
Okay.
Sacha's on just less than half health.
Jesus.
Great. So that is going to be cure wounds at second level or what?
I could be on cure wounds now that we're no longer using.
What is Theren
control.
doing?
It's what Theren's doing right
I
now.
can't do anything this turn, so it might as well be me.
Right.
Theren is going to come borrow D8.
Yes.
Cure wounds at
You got
second
one.
level
Oh no,
on
Do it.
I'm being an idiot. Sorry.
Roll
on,
that healing.
Sacha. So that is 13 plus 4, 17.
Great, perfect. You can see a couple of crossbow bolts have thudded into her back, and with the energy, you manage to just push the wounds, the bolts out of the wounds. They clunk to the ground, covered in blood, but already the wounds beginning to knit in. She sort of looks at you and nods, and thank you.
With the rest of his turn, Theren is going to point Bear Claw at the other ballista and go, hit that!
Okay.
What do you think?
Right, down to Odie. Odie is going to take 3 shots at the crew.
It's me.
Because she's unearthed Arcana Ranger, she takes a multi-attack to hit twice, and then she can choose to hit another target within 5 feet of any target she's hit for a third attack, effectively, because she is a hunter. So roll 3 shots. Regular shots now.
Yeah, just regular shots. Okay, so the first one is. It's not very good. That's a 15 to hit for the first one.
15, yep.
Second one is. Oh, that's worse. That's like a 13.
Okay, 13.
Yeah, 13.
Yep, both have hit.
Okay, great.
Oh, that's not
That's an
good.
11
That's-
though.
Yeah.
11, 2 hit.
Yay. Alright, so it's first 7 plus. So it's 11 on the first one. Second one is
What do
7,
Vincent?
so that's 18 total.
18 total, that's
That's it.
9, so that's bump. And then this has got 7 left. So again, another one is knocked down. You've now killed 12 of these things. You're getting your kills in.
Yeah.
It's good. Vincent is next, actually, because they are next to each other in the initiative. So he will take a shot. He's not so good at range. He's more of a rogue, unfortunately.
18 to hit.
Hits.
And it does 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. Yeah.
Nice.
MVP again.
Yeah.
I think Odie's killed more than Vincent.
Okay.
I say.
So now all of the
wait.
crossbows have been lost, and you're now starting to hit into the actual crew themselves. You can see they're manning and sort of ducking, a couple of picking crossbows up, but they're struggling to fire back. You're peppering them with ranged projectiles, and they are losing that fight. So the crew are now beginning to duck down, but the ship is still coming towards you. The captain at the back is just barking orders. Rah, rah. You see like he's trying to get the crew down, and you can see him just sort of like knocking on the ground, and then he sort of turns to the individual at the front and goes, she sort of... Kasaki is the one...
Yeah.
Holding the ballista.
Yep, she loads the ballista.
Great. Fiona's on.
Drazda.
And
Well,
Kasaki's
I-
firing, Aubrey's loaded.
I've loaded it.
Yeah, it's nerds.
Sorry. So I load.
But you fired at the beginning of the time.
No,
I didn't
ballista
fire at
hasn't
all.
been fired. That
Okay,
was Odie.
fire it. Yeah, what are you firing at?
She's going to fire at the ballista.
So that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the actual ballista or the ballista,
The ballista.
crew?
The actual ballista.
Ballista.
Okay, roll for head.
And you have the d4 for bless. Oh shit, that's not going to be good. So that is 7 plus 4, 11.
7. No, it rises over the top of the front of the boat, just the boat dips, and it just kind of, and you see the boat just skim over the heads of about 4 orcs who go about a second too late as it and hits the sea
That's
behind.
6. Okay.
So that was Kasaki. Drazda. Drazda.
She's such a good girl. Don't do it.
Come on, cat. Kick their ass.
I think that spell
Fireball.
Firebolt
Meow,
has
more like ow.
120 feet. She's just
Meow.
out of range still, and she doesn't
No.
want to use
I
any of her
did
spells
that's right.
No.
just yet. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a weird calm in the middle of the battle as you have silenced the crossbow crew. The damage output you've done is you've slayed the orcs. They have multiple dead. They don't, a couple of them have picked up more crossbows. They're not daring to put anything more than like a head over the top and then like back behind as you were winning that battle. Another orc steps forward. You can see this one in sort of breastplate armor, but long dreadlocked hair, bald on the top, the sides sort of coming round, blue skin, and a missing eye. You can see where the eye has been ripped out of the socket, claw marks all down the side of the face, with a staff gnarled as it comes forward to the front of the deck and points. And actually, all of you on the back of the ship, all you notice is just in that brief second of calm, with no projectiles sort of hitting you for a few seconds, and then you see a small orange bead gliding into the air.
Oh, good.
And then there's a fireball blast in the middle of the ship. So it has a 20-foot radius. If it can hit some of the back crew as well, it
Probably
will. But I think it'll just hit the 5 of you at the back and Drasda, who's in the middle of the boat.
Right.
So I need dexterity throws from Odie, Vincent, Theren, Sarcha. Who else is that at the back? Can't quite see
Bruka.
from here.
Yeah.
Bruka and Drasda. So I'll do
+4 to everyone
Oh,
except Drasda.
no.
Drasda doesn't. So this is a dexterity saving throw.
Do you want to roll the... Is it
Drasda
+4 overall?
fails.
+4 on top of whatever you roll.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
And Sarcha passes. Let me know if you get more than a
Dexterity?
11.
Yeah.
Yes, Odie
Theren's
does.
fine.
Odie does.
It's
Okay.
gone-
Sarcha's
more
fine.
than or equal to more than.
11 is the DC.
So
Okay.
11.
To 11 to pass.
Okay, let me just think this through. 8 plus 4. We just both passed.
Okay, you just both pass. Drasda
Thanks to
fails with a natural 1 on the roll.
Shit.
2. It's not great damage. You might be alright on this.
Oh, I fail. Vincent doesn't fail.
Bruka fails.
Bruka fails.
Bruka fails. Okay. Drasda and Bruka, you both take 25 fire damage. Everybody else takes 12.
Peachy.
Okay.
Odie's not looking well.
Drasda is just picked up off her feet, flames engulfing her, and then she just thuds into the mast. There's a crack and she falls down into the ground, not moving.
Sorry.
Bruka, you take the intensity of the fire, just like you're not reacting quick enough, still concentrating on your spell as you go and come back down. Everybody else passes.
So it's 24 damage.
25 or
25.
12 if you passed.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Do you have any spells?
Sarcha,
What the hell's...
looking pretty badly burnt at this point, but like, get somebody get Drasda, just fire back, take out the spellcaster. She is going to, that's still out of range. All of her spells are out of range still, so she is going to,
Why have you not learned Fireball?
she's going to move over to Drasda, and she is going to
Someone help her!
attempt
It's me!
to make a medicine check, because that's
Does anyone know what healing spirit means?
13. So Drasda's going to get a pass on the first saving throw.
Healing Spirit is amazing.
What is it?
It's like, I think it's like a zone of effect. So if you jump into it on your turn, you get.
Yeah. But it only works once per turn.
Yeah.
So you can.
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
in
it's not cheeky.
Yeah.
the cheeky
But as
one.
in the spell only works once
Okay.
per turn.
Odie has that.
So you need to keep the spell up for 10 rounds to get all 10 d6 effectively.
Yeah.
So it's a longer term spell.
Yeah.
It's like it's a version of Prayer of Healing. Like an out of combat but powerful healing spell.
Because I remember she had cure wounds at one
Bruka.
point. First one.
You watch as this fireball just engulfs the ship. You come back, you can just feel the heat still on your face. So like the slight
I feel many
stinging.
heat. I'm going to be a little selfish and heal myself up
Do it,
because
yeah.
I am
Yeah.
on
Yeah, absolutely do that.
Fuck's
So I am going to do Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
sake.
You've got your Balm of the Summer Court, remember, as well? That's
Yes.
a bonus action.
That's very good for picking people up at range. I might even do this at 3rd level just to get myself back in the game.
Do what you need to do.
Okay.
Roll those dice. Are you staying towards the back of the boat, or are you going to go back a bit?
I'm gonna stay next to Safety Boy because I think
Safety boy.
in real aspects that would be more useful.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Going down, so the falling star doesn't move at all because
Yep, we're
at
dead in
the
the
moment
water.
you're sort of still turning. I'll give you 1 round of movement still from the last time you did it. So you'll keep the angle. This big ship is going to go back 10 feet. It's effectively as this sort of goes.
It
A little
lasts
bit
10
further
minutes.
back. Yeah. The crew are just. You've got one trying to reload sort of the boat. Actually, it would have been 25 points. So the hull has taken a bit more damage actually from the fireball hit. Just it rocks the ship backwards and forwards. You can see scorch marks all over it. The Falling Star's crew is all hidden. What would they do? The sails like knackered right now. There's
Don't
no
worry about the sails.
need.
Get the hull. The hull's
They're
more
gonna
important.
just be like getting inside the ship and trying to do what they can.
Good.
That's what we need to do.
Let's just give them a little bit of. Okay, so they get 5 points of healing back to the ship in the middle of the combat as just sort of the immediate damage is done. Okay, they can't do a thing. Aubrey,
How far away is the ship again?
it's whatever it is.
Oh, fuck's sake. I need to get over there.
You're not getting 140 feet across, I'll tell you that much.
No, not
Also,
yet.
you'd be swamped and outnumbered. Help the reloading.
For now, I will. Yeah, I'm going to help to reload. That's all I can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you reload. Yeah.
That's speed.
We go down to pirates. Okay, they move 30 feet forward, the ship. So I think they should be now about 100 feet away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Theren's
3,
about
4,
to.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 100, 100 feet or so. So the ballista is going to
my ship.
fire at the ship again because it got a good bit of luck last time. This time, no, you can see the bolt funks into the side of the ship, but just goes boom. The ship moves, but doesn't appear to have done any sort of real damage to it at all. What would the crew do? You can see a couple of members of the ballista crew. There were sort of 7 or 8 milling around, some not being useful. They're being funneled from 2. Now they're closer. You can see 2 more ballistas on the middle of each side of the boat towards the back. Their crew rushing forward and picking up crossbows. 3 of them now are going to make shots at one at Odie, one at Vincent, one at Theren.
Cool.
So Theren, that is 18 to hit.
Nope.
Nope. Odie gets a 6 to hit. And Vincent gets a 6 to hit.
Oh.
So, no, just like, they're firing back, but Theren, yeah, you just stood there like,
Stop.
not happy. That is their go. So Theren.
Okay, the caster is on the back of the boat, right? I mean,
It's here,
this front of the
right?
boat.
Quite close. You can see the caster's about 10 feet away from the front of the boat.
So that's 110 feet away from me.
Do it.
I think she wants you to do it.
Theren is going to look at the caster, lock eyes with the bastard.
Yeah, and you can see just even across the ways, there's a sort of moment where scanning the deck, laughing, he sort of locks eyes, or she locks eyes on you.
Yeah. You will die, and I will be the one to do it. And cast Hexblade's Curse.
Okay, do it.
So that is.
I call dibs on
On
you.
you.
That is literally me calling it.
It's me.
So Hexblade's Curse to remind me because it's been a while. Crit on a 19 and 20.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's got to be within 30 feet. I apologise profusely.
Well, you can shout it out
You've
anyway.
got Hunter's Mark you could do. if you
60
wanted.
feet.
Hex?
We're not 100 feet.
How many ways can Theren hex somebody? That's the question. A lot of ways.
Have you got a hex?
I don't have Hex.
Oh.
I've got Bane. Bane isn't going to work
Just shoot
either.
it. Do your shooty thing.
Yeah, it's not with Volvo.
Eldritch Blast.
It's gonna be an Eldritch Blast.
Do it. Make your attacks.
Okay, first attack.
Raises the staff in anticipation.
First attack.
A 10. You can see the bar, like he just sort of ducks as the first blast goes to the side of her.
Second, 17.
Yeah.
17. This time, there's a smirk as just this time glances off the shoulder, sparking off the armor. Yeah, roll damage.
Oh, cool.
Hits.
Okay, so I thought you were saying she uses shield. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's just 3 points of damage.
3 points of damage.
Oh wait, no, it's 2. Oh yeah, it's 2d10 because it's 2 blows.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Alright, it barely glances, but there's a moment of scorching smoke off the top of the armor. It looks towards you. You see the big tusks of the grin. Anything else you want to do?
No, that'll be me for now. Thank you very much.
Okay, Odie and Vincent are going to see what you're doing and they're going to shoot at the caster as well. They are not happy. So Vincent will take a shot, Odie will take 2 shots at the caster, and then 1 shot at one of the crossbow crew.
Yep.
Oh, Vincent! You got more than 20.
Yeah.
I'll let that be first.
8 damage from Vincent.
8 damage from Vincent. Very good.
So one attack is 26, the other is
14.
26 hits, 14 doesn't.
Okay, and then the other one is a 24.
24. That hits the crossbow crew.
Yeah.
So what's the damage on the caster?
So the caster is that's measly 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay, all adds up.
And
And
the other one is 8 damage on the crossbow crew.
okay, that's-
Why doesn't she have lucky? God
Yeah.
damn it! Everyone's got lucky.
Are you keeping track of arrows?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see another one of
She
the
has a fuck
people
ton.
who just picked up the crossbow is just in the head and disappears backwards. You can see them sort of looking around nervously. The caster just sort of ducks out the way of 2 of the arrows, but gets hit a couple of times, clattered, grunting. Doesn't appear to have done much damage, but you is now aware that it's being shot at.
13. She says.
Fantastic. That would be the captain's turn.
Oh no.
The captain, what can he do? Not much,
Can
actually.
you just shout really loudly?
He just continues to shout really loudly.
Yeah.
He's pushing the crew
Bonus action.
onwards. Yeah, you can see he's making noises, just keeping the oars going. You can see him sort of just start to mention to mutter to one of the crew members as it takes the wheel, and he starts to sort of slowly make his way forward, just slowly walking down the stairs. So he moves about 10 feet. He's really just taking his time, strutting almost as he comes down. You can see this guy in plate armor, black and grey, forged well but inefficiently, just almost like metal being sort of shoved onto him. You can see a large what weapon has he got? Great axe slung over his shoulder, a spear that he sort of picks up from the deck and just sort of makes his way forward slowly. Much bigger than the others, about 7 feet tall, this guy. Very tough. It would now be Kasaki.
Fire the ballista.
Alright, what are you firing up?
The ballista.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
Make
got
an
you.
attack.
Yes.
I've got you blessed. So.
Yeah, it's still agreed with firing the ballista.
Yeah, I'm just helping you do it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
21 plus 4, 25.
25 hits. Roll 3d10 damage.
4, 12, 15 damage.
15 damage. Yeah, you get a good hit in actually. You can see that the whole mechanism is just clangs back. One of the bowstrings, the big bowstring, sort of snaps off the ballista, and the crew just immediately starts sort of grabbing it and trying to pull it back on. It doesn't seem to be totally broken, but it's done some damage to it. Anything else Kasaki wants to do?
That's down to 5.
That's all. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm for my own record.
Cool.
With 5.
That is all she can do. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Drazda will make a death saving throw.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because she's fine.
Okay, she's still down. Nobody picked her up.
Nope.
Okay, yeah, that's that. So it now goes to the spellcaster. What's the spellcaster going to do?
She was down. Fuck.
Do you have any ranged healing stuff?
Yeah.
Cool.
My next
Why
turn.
are you so worried?
Because it's the cast.
Oh yeah, that
Okay.
I'm worried.
Looking at you, Theren, just sort of gritting its teeth, she sort of moves the staff and twirls, and a large sort of flaming bolt of radiant light gathers in her hand, and she just chucks it over to you, and she'll try to guiding bolt you. So that is... What's that to hit? Oh shit. She's really shit at this. Yeah, 13 to hit.
No.
Just, the light sort of comes streaming, you lift the shield up, and it just bursts into the air. You lower the shield.
Scowl.
She sort of, and then will walk 30 feet backwards into the boat and come away from the edge, knowing that getting peppered is not her favourite thing. Sarcha, still out of... she sort of looks around. Could somebody help her up? She's going to make another medicine check. It's not as good though. It doesn't really do anything. And she's sort of like trying to like pat down Jazda's wounds. You can see burns ripped up the side of her like cloth armor, and have given her pretty nasty burns. They can't do anything now. Well, more people will start to gather crossbows. There's probably about 4 or 5 of them now up front. Bruca.
Okay, I am going to use the last 3 of my Balm of the... let me use 2. Balm of the Summer Courts on Drazda, so at 120 feet range. She gets 8 health, so she's back
Okay.
up, and she also gets 2 temporary hit points.
Okay, fantastic. There's a
Then-
sort of flutter of her eyelids as she like sits up slightly, as you feel the energy sort of pulse from you.
God. And
Cool.
who is looking
Christ.
really scruffy?
Drazd is not looking good. Sarcha's on about half health.
Oh, he's not looking great.
Okay, I'll rush over to damage dealer Odie
Okay,
and
yeah.
do cure wounds at 3rd level.
Oh wow.
Roll it.
You must really like her. Just these elves.
She's killed like 13.
Yeah, she's pulling the weight.
She even got like a cool lightning in you or something fun.
They're not
Yeah.
stationary.
Oh, yeah.
We went through this unless we're stationary. Oh Jesus, that was a 1 and a 2 and a 1.
Oh,
+4.
sorry, man.
8 health.
It all counts.
It's better.
All helps. All helps.
21. Great.
Okay. Anything else you want to do? Staying near the front? Probably got about 15 feet movement left if you need it.
No, I'm good.
Alright,
Stay
fine.
close to Theren.
Yeah, stay close to Theren.
You can see one of the crew members like sort of bursts onto the deck, and you see sort of grabbing the wheel, and will now like turn it and start to like push the boat so that it's sort of flat against, if you sort of mean. So
Yep. So we're back to here.
yeah, exactly. So the ballista is now kind of slightly
Can't
out
use
of
it.
range,
That's-
but
okay.
there's now a bit more cover to the people at the back, and
Right.
you're just sort of, so that if you do get rammed,
Yep.
you're not going to get
It's
hit
not-
too badly.
Good.
They can't do anything. Aubrey.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to get the ballista ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
Load it
Load
up.
shot. Last 5 shots.
I know, barbarians on a ship battle, man.
I'm ready to go over to the next ship.
Yeah.
We just need to be closer.
Okay, the ship will come 30 feet forward. You can see the oars still paddling as it goes, making its way. It's going to take a few more crossbow bolt shots. You can see the spellcaster just on her way out. She sort of turns and goes and makes noises, and you can see a couple of them like focusing their attention on you. You've sort of pissed her off a little bit, but
You didn't die in my fire.
yeah.
Theren
3
loves
of them will
pissing
shoot
people
at Theren, 1 of them each at Odie and Vincent. So Odie will get a 17
Hits.
to hit. Vincent will get a 8.
Does not hit.
So Odie takes 5 points of damage.
Mhm.
And Theren, you get a few hits towards you.
Yeah.
They don't know this. They pretty much need natural 20s to hit you. The highest is 21 to hit,
That'll do it.
and then there's a 19 to hit.
No.
So one of them will hit you. Not very good on the damage, 4 damage.
Oh.
As the
Okay.
crossbow bolt sort of funks into your shoulder. Theren. Oh no, the ballista gets to fire. Oh, actually, the crew.
No. Wait, their ballista.
Their ballista. The crew are going to try and make a repair on it, which they do enough. So the ballista will fire. The ballista's going to fire at you, Theren.
Oh, no.
That is a 19. No, 20 to hit.
Oh,
Yeah,
20 gives us a plus.
yeah.
Yeah, 20. I'm sorry, that's not me changing it.
that's so funny.
Theren, you get hit square in the chest with a giant.
Oh my god.
25 points of damage
Me. Alright.
as you just
You're right.
stagger back.
You're not.
No, I'm up, but
Yeah,
no.
Jeez, oh.
Okay.
God,
Now it is. Theren, it is your go now.
I suggest lay on hands. Cuckoo.
Yeah.
After yourself. Let's fuck this shit.
Alright, fuck this. Yeah, here's what Theron's gonna do.
Maybe you should. It wouldn't have hit otherwise.
He is going to lay on hands himself for 29 hit points.
Very good. Yeah. You just. But it's more like it's not like Theren touching himself. There's just a moment where Theren
It definitely
closes
is.
his eyes, and you can see radiant energy just pulse from him. It just sort of as his wounds heal. Crossbow bolts scatter to the deck. That massive gash across his chest. Even the armor just appears to knit back up slightly around the wound.
Then,
Action.
yeah, and this might not count for anything, or it might. He is going to look at the poor souls on the ballista that are about to die, stare at them, and scream in rage.
Okay. Make an intimidation check.
Fuck you.
24.
You have their attention. They are.
Who's that man that's just screaming?
Okay.
randomly?
Odie and Vincent.
Yeah.
They're going to take some more shots at the crossbow people.
Sorry, hold on. Bless is fine.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Good memory. Thank you. So Odie takes 3 shots. Vincent takes 1.
12.
Doesn't hit. No, it's 13 AC.
So one is 17, the
Hits.
other is 24, and
Hits.
then final one is...
Odie's good at range.
14?
Hits.
Right.
All 3 hit. Odie just dealing the damage right now.
Right, so 4,
That's all. There you go.
11 plus 12 is 23.
23.
Yes.
Jesus. That's
Sorry, this is all too much math.
Okay, right. You think this is no must be you? I'm just whatever. So she knocks another 2 of them off their feet. You can see now the crew. There's a lot of them with weapons on the boat, and they're getting agitated, and they look like they're like waiting for the boat to get closer. Now that in range, you can see at least 40 of them are ready to board. Like they are getting closer, but. In terms of the people, the crew are looking a bit depleted now. You can see the crew much less armoured, much less physically sort of looking. They look more lean than they do big, bulky and strong. Like they've been working long hours rather than training, if that makes sense. The crew look slightly depleted now. And actually, there's only 3 of them with crossbows, and it doesn't look like any more are going to pick them up. There's no, like, the raiding crew are impatiently holding things like ropes and grappling hooks when you can see large amounts of rope are being passed to the ballista in front, and there seems to be one of the ballista bolts, like, with a sort of rope tied round it. And they look like they're going to have to change tactic. So you've done a lot, you've taken out a lot of these things. Their range support is
Doesn't
nigh
feel
on
like
depleted now. So that's their go. The captain is just strolling his way forward, another 10 feet forward, just making his way towards the front of the boat, sort of patting the people on the back, like he turns to one of the guys with the cleaver and like slaps him on the back. Another one with the sword just like pointing in the air. The captain sort of grabs the sword and like, licks up the blade and spits it. It just sort of makes his way menacingly to the front.
Aubrey appreciates.
Okay. It is now Kasaki.
Let's fire that ballista.
Yeah.
Can she anymore?
Yeah.
We've got 4 left.
5 more
But it's
rounds.
facing.
Its fate is out of range at the moment.
Yeah.
Creed, I rolled for it, and
Yeah,
the crew
no, that's
decided
fine.
to put it
Yeah,
a bit early.
Okay, then
We'll
cast.
have to do it at disadvantage then, right?
You can't. It can't.
It's
Can't do it
it's
at all.
out
shoot
of
across the
firing.
deck. No.
Okay.
Okay.
It's ready to go.
He would be in danger of hitting someone.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
can try.
No.
Here's what. Okay, Cass is going to hop off the ballista.
Yeah.
Is this just for show, or is there a raised bit, or is the entire thing flat?
There is a raised bit at the back, yeah.
Okay, right. Then Cass is going to hop off the ballista, take cover behind the raised bit so she is in cover from any sort of thing.
Yeah.
Hold her sort of movement and action for any boarding.
Yeah. You can see now the boat's been turned like that. It's actually shielding a lot of the people from the front. So now Sarcha and Drazda are kind of almost out of the range of most of the projectiles because of the way it curved up at the back. When it was slightly side on, so you could get your ballista in, they could hit round the side of it, if that made sense. So it was to and fro, really, in whether or not it was a good thing or a bad thing. Drazda picks herself up off the ground. She is going to... What does she do? She sort of pops her head up, like sort of climbs up, peers over the top. You can see she's panting. Whisks like a paw around and sends some magic missiles towards the crossbow members, and then immediately drops down to the deck with the rest of her movement, so she can't be seen. She just goes no, and comes back down. So that is 2, 6, 8, 11 points of damage. That takes out another one.
Nice.
There's now only 2 left with crossbows on the back. It now goes to the spellcaster. You can see just a sort of glow of magical energy as she seems to be casting Cure Wounds on herself. Didn't like being hit. Doesn't do that much.
I was going to say, she only got hit for 3, wasn't it?
She got hit by 17 in total, but now it's
I
slightly
thought
less.
you hit her for 3.
Yeah, but Odie hit her.
Oh yeah, I did. It was me.
Yeah, come on.
Me.
Sarcha, you can see just like frantically, just like she makes her way back up to the top, like puts her hand on your shoulder, Theren, and just goes, I can't get him, like, can't let him get close, can't let him get close, get the oars. And sort of, you can see just this inhalation of breath as the air around her begins to gather this arcane pulse. You feel static being just sort of absorbed into her. Everyone at the back of the boat will immediately feel this sort of energy rush as Sarcha raises into the air, lightning crackling around her, very Aubrey style. As she lifts herself 5 feet off the ground and casts a lightning bolt 100 feet behind across the bow of the ship as much as she can. So it's a 5-foot line and it's 100 feet long. So she will hit the ballista and anybody she can around it. So just show me how 100
I'm
feet is.
so 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
Okay, so that hits... it's
Ballista
probably going to
crew
hit the ballista
and-
crew.
Yep.
Any crossbow?
It'll hit 1 crossbowman and it'll hit another of the crew. So we're going to say it's going to hit 5 people at this range. It's not quite as effective, but she's pissed off.
Yep.
We'll make dexterity saves for the... What's her DC? 14. Dexterity saves for the crew. They all fail.
Nice.
The crossbow passes and the actual member of the crew, so not the ballistic crew but the regular guy, fails. So that is 8d6. Gotta love lightning bolt. 7, 12, 14. It's gonna be average damage, isn't it? 16, 18, 19, 24 damage. So she kills the crossbowman,
Cool.
a crew member,
Good.
and then 3 of the ballistic, all of the ballistic crew.
Nice.
So she just thrives. The ballista
Yes.
itself takes a load of damage as well, crackling with static energy. It pops apart again and sort of rocks up its base. It's 5 members. Even the crew was actually damaged, so even with a successful phase, you just see them get blasted back with the lightning. It sort of arcs over the top of your heads, and every single one of you on the ship, you feel that just surge of static as you wince away from it, as it blasts across the back. And with her movement, because she can move 10 feet with the spell casting as a storm, that she levitates back and she'll hit the deck of the ship outside.
Cool.
So
Badass.
exactly. The raiders are just agitated. You can see them piling forward towards the boat with like ropes and just swinging them. But they see all the damage and they're not coming to the front of the boat. They're like sticking near the sides and like trying to stay out of the way. Brukar, what would you like to do?
They're moving about 30 feet per round, aren't they, towards us?
The boat is, yeah.
I am going... How do people look? Sorry.
I'm just over half.
Okay.
Odie's fine. She's
Cass
fine.
is absolutely fine.
I think it's more Sarcha.
Sarcha and Drazda look a bit hurt. Drazda looks hurt. Sarcha looks a little hurt, but they're both out of sight at the moment. They keep sort of popping over the top to cast spells, but they've got a lot of cover where they are at the moment.
This is going to look really stupid when I watch this back. I'm going to turn into a black bear.
Cool.
Okay, right, fine. So you watch as
Meanwhile,
Brukar just moves into a black bear.
And that's my turn.
Good.
It will make sense.
Yeah.
No, I think I know what you're doing.
Temporary HP.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So, Brukar, you watch as he
And I
just
just
forms
roar.
into this bear form. Make an intimidation check. That's a very random thing to see if you're the ones
It's
invading.
a fucking bear!
Yeah.
Natural
Come
one!
on!
Roar! I am roaring at you.
More confusion you get than you do like anything else, really. Okay, fine. The crew of the Falling
Good
Star
hail.
are going to be... What would they do? Yeah, they're just helping the boat move as best they can. You can see they're now climbing and trying to repair the sails as best they can. All four of them are now out risking themselves, but without the ballistas fire, and they can see the danger you're in. They're going to try and put them... They do a little bit. One of the sails is beginning to get slightly repaired. It's not much, but the boat gets a tiny bit of speed to it now.
Nice.
It needs limping forward, 5 feet per turn. So we'll do that next turn. That's on each. Okay. You can't do anything. Aubrey.
Right, assuming that the ballista has been abandoned, like once again, can't use it. I'm gonna rush to the front, rush to the back, sorry, next to Theren, and then take the dodge action.
Okay, fantastic. Take the dodge action. Disadvantage on you next turn.
Yes.
Very sensible, Aubrey. It's almost like, why do other people do it if they
What
can't?
was this, 35 episodes we've done?
I know, it's great, isn't it? Underused action, the dodge action.
I think we're both being very tactical here. You
So-
dodging me.
Pirate ship will take another 30 feet forward. As it's now getting closer and closer and closer.
It's going to hit turn after next.
Yeah, okay.
The ballista is totally out of use now. No more crossbows are... actually, there's one crossbow. He's going to like stick his head up. He's going to take a shot at Odie because Odie's doing a lot of damage right now. 13 to
It
hit.
doesn't hit.
No, it just hits into the side of it. You can see Odie, like, it would hit her directly in the chest if it wasn't for the side of the ship, but she's just conveniently in the way of the bolt. She looks down and goes, "Oh, bugger me," and stands ever so slightly to the side as if it's going to help.
Boom!
Bugger.
It might come back in that exact location.
I see.
Yeah. Theren.
Okay, Theren is going to call out to the people around the ranged fighters. Everyone with a bow, go back 15 paces. Aubrey, Kasaki, up here right now. The minute they reach the ship, we kill every last one of them. And he is going to keep firing Bear Claw at the boarders, not the crossbow guy.
Okay, so the actual members of the boarding party. Okay, fine. Yeah, make those attack rolls.
First one's 24.
Hits.
Second one... There's a natural
Natural
one.
one.
Okay, first one hits.
Come on. Nice.
5.
5.
All adds.
Okay. Yeah, you catch one just on the shoulder, it glances off the force, it sort of snarls at you, just sort of padding his arm
Cool.
in pain.
Yep, that is going to be it for Theren.
Okay, Odie and Vincent, they can't do much else.
Well, are we
Odie,
gonna,
what spells has she got?
she's got...
She's got a couple spells.
She's got Hunter's Mark, Detect Magic, Find Traps, and Healing Spirits. That's all she's got on the sheet.
Yeah, she doesn't know much. So she will...
I say she just...
Just somebody get the oars! You can't move without the oars! And she will cast Hunter's Mark on
Excellent.
the crossbow person, take a shot at him.
Okay.
And then you'll take 2 shots at the crow behind.
Cool. So that the one on the crossbowman is a 13.
Hits.
Okay. And
He's
then,
dead, don't even roll.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other 2 attacks. Yeah, they're gonna hit. That's a 27 and a 21.
Yeah, both hit.
Nice. Oh, double ones! Sorry, that's a 10 total, so 5 to each.
Well, she gets 1 dead with that, that's
Not
fine.
even double ones!
Sort of hits off the side of the crew, beginning to look they're at half strength now. The boat is sort of looking a little bit like, you see the captain is now looking at like the dead around him and snarling.
Is she staying put or is she going to pull back?
I Suxi told the fighter.
Yep.
to
So they
go
will move
back.
15 feet back.
Vincent's going to do his attacks as well.
He will also follow orders to move back a bit.
But I was going to say, roll
After
ones.
taking a shot.
Yeah.
That is... What's that? 16.
16. Okay, that'll hit, yep.
Come on.
That is 7 points of damage.
Okay, fine. Gets a bit of damage in. Great. Dad, he's now down to the captain. He still can't do anything. He's just going to move another 10 feet forward. He's sort of getting to the back of the ship. You see him just sort of kicking some of the corpses that are falling out of the way, snarling like. His eyes locked on you. Kasaki is just going to sort of hold and sort of like sort of looks around to see if it's just waiting to move, but she's going to like stay put. Drazda is going to hear what they're saying. So she's going to sort of climb over the side of the ship, leaning out the side, and she's going to use a level 2 Scorching Ray.
Yes.
And she is going to make 3 attacks at the oars themselves. So her spell attack is +5. So that is a miss, a hit, and a hit. So the oars take... That's not a good roll. 7 points of fire damage. You can see some of the oars start to burn as the impacts hit, and sort of almost like something through a colander, for instance, like refracting the fire, just scatters over them. A couple of them catch fire, but they're all still going. It doesn't stop them. How many? Let me just check. Yep. Okay, great. But they appear to, some have caught fire, but she again hides back round. The spellcaster, you now can't see it, sort of mingled into the back of the ship. Sarcha is going to stick her head up to the other side, and she's going to do exactly the same thing to the oars. She will just magic missile them because
Yeah, that's better than nothing.
guaranteed damage. 3, 7, 10, 13 this time. 21 points of damage. I know that's... no, I'm doing up for one bit. Where's that gone? 20. Okay, great. So a couple of the oars just totally splinter and come off, and some more are being sort of pushed out to replace them, but they're starting to be destroyed a bit now. It now goes to... Bruka.
Okay. They're within 60 foot.
Yeah.
Are the oars within 60 foot of me, or some of the oars?
The oars are kind of at the side of the ship, so they're like...
Bit
10,
further
20.
out.
Yeah. So probably about 100 feet away from you.
Fuck it. I'm gonna de-bear.
Yep.
And this is the slot are within 60 feet of me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm gonna cast Flaming Sphere
Okay.
at 3rd level.
Jeez.
Third level. Alright, explain
So-
what happens.
So Black Bear next to you just goes back to Brewcar, and then he puffs on his pipe, and a little ball of smoke begins to appear above the
Yeah.
top of the pipe, and then he just pushes it out, and a flaming ball of fire appears. Let's
Engages
use this.
round. Is it a concentration spell or is it
It
just...
is.
Don't use
Yeah,
D20.
wonderful.
Don't use my D20.
Use like a D12 or something. Please.
I never use my D4. Do you want that?
Okay.
Just because you always use your D20.
So right on top
For the blister.
crowd.
Alright, fine. What's the radius on that?
That's anything within 5 foot of it have to
Okay.
make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, fantastic. So the ballista crew are all dead at the moment, so you could move it slightly to the side and hit some of the raiding party if you want.
That is what I will do.
Yep,
Yes,
that's fine.
that's
So
good.
you can probably get 3 of them in a space
Nice.
with that. So what have they got to do?
Dexterity saving throw beat 15, please.
Oh, goody, they're good at these. That is a natural 20,
Nice.
Okay.
a 15 and a 13. Wow, those are some good rolls. So 2 passes, 1 fail.
Okay, so the one who succeed take 4 points of damage,
Okay,
and the one who failed takes 9 points of damage.
17 total.
All helps. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Hang on.
Okay, yeah, one of them is totally incinerated, and the other 2
Nice.
sort of duck down, taking as the embers sort of burn over them. But this ball of fire is now gathering, and they're starting to like disperse around from it. The captain, you can see, is and it points towards you as a threat. So you can see he sort of picks up like a crossbow from the floor and is like pointing it towards you.
In which case I will move,
Yep.
seeing that, downstairs. I
Okay.
take a bit of cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
And I've also just realised I cast that at 2nd level, not 3rd level.
That's fine.
It's
It's
been
a concentration spell, so your control water is now gone. Just
Yeah,
put it that way.
absolutely gone.
Yep, fine. Okie dokie. So that.
But that's fine.
Okay. The crew, they're just.
staring at the back.
I'm with you. Don't.
Just behind. Behind
Okay,
the
the
little
crew are going to give the
half-health
sails a
shield.
little bit more health, but they can't patch it quick enough to actually get any purchases. The damage is too severe. They're looking at you going, as they're, it's trying to sort of push off. But they're still working and working and working and working. It is now, they can't do anything. Aubrey.
How many of them are left on the boat? Just now, like a rough number. Because we've got the captain, but the spellcaster, the raiding party. How many
If
are there?
there's 70 started, it's probably about just over 40.
Christ, it feels like a barely dropping in the ocean.
Cool. All right. I activate wings of flying.
Okay. So you see Aubrey just sort of stand in the air, and
Good
her
search.
cape just billows out,
Yeah.
and you take to the air. Like doesn't even flap, just like sort of I guess
They're like bat wings.
Bat
It
wings.
says, yeah.
has come out, and they sort of flap. But clearly they're not. They don't have enough purchase to make you fly. But you just soar into the air now. What would you like to do?
I want to get as close as I can to the ship. I'm guessing because it's only it's well. It's
Are you going
6
towards the
movement.
ship or the oars or the sails? What are you doing?
Well, this is the thing. So, can I? I'm just because I want to be at least 10 feet up so that they can't hit me with any melee weapons.
Well, you can do one of two things. The
Yeah.
ship is about 30 feet above, so you can stick
Oh,
close
shit,
to
it's all
the.
big,
You
isn't
can
it?
stick to the ocean,
Mhm.
or you can stick above them. So if you go really low, they can't hit you, and if you go really high, they can't.
Yeah, but
hit
so
you.
I want to get closer to the ship. So I'm guessing if I use 6 feet of movement, I'd have to go up
Yeah,
and
no,
then.
I would say you can jump off the side and then
Yeah,
move, so
that's
you
what I
can
was
get
saying.
low if you want.
I want to be able to get within 10 feet of at least one of the raiding party, so I can use Storm's aura. If you see what I
Okay,
mean.
you would be getting closer to
Yeah,
them.
that's what I want.
Right, fine. Okay, so move to where you want to go.
There.
Okay, coming round. But you're kind of below the deck, but the lightning arcs out,
Yeah,
and you
and
get one of the raiding
rages.
party.
Rage.
Rage comes in and hits. He fails his deck save.
A measly fucking 2.
2.
It's better than 1.
Aubrey's coming.
Yeah, you can see him just like backing away, and like the burns from earlier are now just like being zapped
I'm
slightly.
like
He's,
fucking Storm
he's
from
like-
X-Men.
he doesn't know what's happening today. He's not. He's not happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, and that's my move. Oh no, that's my action as well. Yep, I'm done.
Okay, fine. As you sort of go, you notice that the ship is coming towards you, and you've never flown before, and you go, "Ugh," and you pull yourself round as the ship comes forward 30 feet and kind of
Oh yeah.
bump against it, scraping on the side of the ship. It doesn't do any damage,
No,
but
but
you're
I'm
certainly
an
like
idiot.
pushed around further than
Yeah,
you
so-
wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's this thing as the ship is getting closer and closer now.
That's good.
You can see the boarding party now rushing to the front. They can't move down one side of the boat because the flaming sphere is sort of in the way, but it's actually travelling down the boat, the flaming sphere, and it's sort of cooking a lot of them. Now, when does the flaming sphere hit? If someone starts his turn in it?
So, I did this wrong last time. If you end your turn within the radius 5 foot of the sphere, you take damage. Or if I ram it into you as a bonus action. So it wouldn't have actually done any damage when I first caught it.
Well, you didn't do anything with your bonus actions. You could have cast it
I
and rammed it.
unbared.
Okay, well, I
Right, too late.
don't
So
remember where I did it, so we'll
next-
call it for now, but
So
for
next
next
turn
time.
I'm going to ram, but I will assume that's the damage from my ram.
Okay,
In
fine.
my next turn.
Oh, no, it's fine.
No,
We'll
do
know
it
for
again.
next
If
time.
we
We
know
know for
what
next
it
time.
is.
So, they're moving forward. The raiding crew are getting forward, and you can see they've got various grappling hooks. A ladder is being raised from the ship, and it's sort of being pushed as if it's going to sort of try and latch onto you like that. You can see various grappling hooks and things being thrown, or getting ready to be thrown, but they're, not quite there yet. Theren.
Okay. Which side is currently being scorched, and which
Both
side are they
sides.
massing on?
Closest to you is being scorched.
Which one? I mean, the
This bit, I think.
Closest to you is when you are at the table.
Oh, to this
Cool.
side.
So Theren is going to plonk himself on the side that they're coming towards.
Yeah.
The captain, I can see him, can't I?
Yeah, he's about 30 feet from the side, but he's advancing down the deck.
Great. First thing I'm going to do, Theren is going to call over his shoulder, "Cass, on me!" Next
Moving
thing,
from behind you as she sort of gets ready to come.
he's going to stare at the captain and go, "Perith demands your death," and cast a vow of enmity
Okay.
on
There we
him.
go.
And I'm going to Eldritch Blast him.
Okay, do
Blast
it.
them.
So that's super advantage.
Come on.
Roll
properly.
Is that the captain?
14, that's
That's the free. It was
Yeah.
the free.
unnatural 20.
Yep, hits.
Second one, 25.
17. 26.
26 for that one.
Yeah, hits.
Okay. 6. 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage. The
Nice.
blast just hit into him and arc off, just as he walks forward, sort of looking. Just not moving anywhere forward. So it's 13 in
me.
total, did you say?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Got some hits. Staying at the front.
Staying.
Okay. Odie and Vincent at the back. What should we do? Are we coming back up? We staying down?
Keep hitting the ones coming at us.
Right, so they come running back
Back
up the
up.
stairs to the top.
Yeah, it's 'cause they
and
moved
they're going to
back.
fire at the boarding party as well. So Vincent makes one attack, Odie makes 3.
Oh, Vincent. 25 to hit.
So the first two attacks are both 21
Nice.
Oh.
and 11.
21. You see, after the first shot, Odie reaches for her quiver
Yeah.
and is totally out. So goes up and nicks some from Vincent. Oh wait, there's a bug! And she fires them. So how many hit?
That was 2 hits.
2
I'm
hits.
guessing 11 doesn't hit, so.
5 damage.
5 damage.
I absolutely love their dynamic. It's the best thing.
Vincent now only has 1 arrow left.
13
Yeah.
plus 8 is 21 damage.
21. Okay, great. Odie knew that she uses lots, so
Yeah,
she
I-
has more than a standard quiver.
I've
But
just
yeah,
been
she
paying
just
attention, that's fine.
so another 2 get fallen. So you've now slain sort of 5 or 6 of these things, but there's loads coming, and they're egging on and shouting at you, taking cover. But the damage is still coming. The captain takes the crossbow, sort of points it at you, Brooker, fires it.
No, that's not the caster.
I'm a little bit in cover with that.
I'll give you a +2.
Yay.
So that's
So 18. What the hell?
only a 10 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
Just duck as the crossbow bolt from. But you can see before he's even finished aiming, he just chucks the crossbow over his shoulder without even me wanting to, and walks further another 10 feet forward. And you can see him now braced and low, with the great axe just taking it out and getting ready. Kasaki comes and stands by you, Theren. You can see her she will take the dodge action and just got to get ready for them. Drazda is going to use another one of her level 2 spells to hit the oars again in an attempt to burn them to shreds. So 9 to... Oh, only 1 hit that time. Some of the flames, they just move through the oars. They're moving targets, they're really thin. She can't get purchase on them. That's a lot better on damage, though. So that's... Okay. You can see down one side of the ship, half of the oars have now been blown away into bits, and the ship is beginning to slow down on its approach. Now that the oars are being taken out, it can't move itself forward as quickly. The damage is really starting to pile up. don't know what's happening with that person. Sacha is going to come back to the top of the boat, and she's just going to be like, "You're not boarding my boat," and then lightning bolts the second time with her last level 3 spell.
Come on, Sacha.
So that'll hit all down the side of the boat. So she's going to catch about 10 of them in that.
God damn,
So for the sake of damage, can you roll 8d6 for me? I'll just do some saves here.
8d6.
Right, Samuel.
Open your hand like a cup.
Okay, 3 pass, 5 fail. No, 3 pass,
11.
7 fail.
Yes, sorry. 8, 10, 11 again, so 22.
Yeah.
22. So about 8 of them die.
Nice.
So that raiding party is now totally dead. That one's taken 2 cash. Yeah, so it just arcs down the side. Again, she uses the electrical energy to sort of push herself down. You can see the dead are piling up on the orc side, but they're now getting close. The captain is sort of looking around and watching this energy. Nobody's fallen on your boat. What would he do? Everybody, in fact the 3 of you, because you're the important people, everyone make an intimidation check for me. As you can see, Theren and Kasaki are sort of stood on the boat.
24.
24.
4.
4.
8.
8. Okay.
Oh.
I'm right next
So
to him.
angry.
So,
That's not
what I wanted to do was... The battle is interesting in the sense that... Oh, whose go is it? That was Sarch's go. The Raiders... Oh, they can't move just yet. Bruka, you get one more go, Bruka, before the boat hits. You can see it's getting close now. What would you like to do?
I would like to use my bonus action to ram the flaming spear in front of the big dude who just tried to shoot me, but I'm not going to do damage as I cocked it up last time. So
It's
take
honestly
that.
fine. I didn't know
Don't worry
as well.
about it.
Okay.
I've
In
already
which
rolled
case, could you do a dexterity saving throw, please?
Just the leader.
Yep.
That is 17.
Okay, so he will take 3 points of fire damage.
3 points of fire damage. It hits off the back of his armour, but he doesn't even move.
And then can I lean out the side, like Dressa was doing, and throw an ice knife at anyone I can see this side?
Okay.
Is there anyone?
Yeah, there's the deck's covered. You can probably get about 3 of them
1, 2, 3,
with the ice knife.
4, 5. Yeah, so I'll fire this at one particular person, and then it explodes once it's hit that
This is
person.
a deck save.
So first I've got to do a ranged attack to hit one of them. So the ranged attack is that'll be
I'm
+7.
so tense. My shoulders are just...
You've been sat like this.
I've been like this going... Oh,
14 to hit one of them.
14 to hit 1. Yeah, that hits.
Okay.
So
He takes... This spell is so complex, but it's awesome. He takes 4 points of damage.
4 points of damage. Okay, it all adds up.
And then that, once it kind of jams into him...
You can see him collapsing under the impact of it. He was quite injured that one.
Nice.
It then explodes in a shard. They've all got to make.
The highest deck save is 14.
That fails. So everyone within 5
You
feet.
did not roll well on that one.
Take
2 natural ones and a 7.
5 points of damage.
Nice.
Not a 7. You know what I mean. Right, anyway,
Too
cool.
bad for a first level spell.
That's really
Bang, bang.
good.
Another 2 drop down. Yeah, that's pretty
That's my
good.
turn.
Nice.
Okay, fantastic. So the falling star, they're sort of patching the sails. You can see they've just about got one of the sails up now, so that the ship is beginning to move slowly forward, very slowly, but it's crawling forward. But you can see that now the ship... actually, no, Aubrey, technically, your goes first.
It is. So I'd like to rise like Storm from X-Men over the side
Yeah.
and 2 reckless attacks on the captain as a sort of flyby movement.
Okay. So you yeah, right, fine. So you move up to the captain. I guess you're flying above him.
Yes, if I can, yeah.
Okay, make your 2 reckless attacks.
Oh wow, that's not too bad. Reckless. Sorry, that's plus. It's plus 8 now, so it's unnatural 20 for the first one,
Yep.
and a 23 for the second one.
Both hit.
Yeah, it's Aubrey. Get that captain.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Okay, so that is 11 plus. Yeah, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, so 11 for the...
Yeah,
No,
but- sorry, no, I'm
is it plus 7?
plus rage. I need to put yes. It's yeah. Sorry, it's so it's
So 13.
13 and sorry and 11. So it's 25 slashing damage in total.
25. Okay.
And Storm's Aura.
13, 11 is 24.
So it's a dexterity
24,
saving
sorry.
throw. It fails with a 9.
2 lightning damage.
2 lightning damage. Okay, you get 2 solid swings, but as you fly by and you move past,
Yes,
he
I'm gonna
swings
get,
with his great axe,
yep.
and he's going to make an attack of opportunity
Yeah,
against
that's
you.
That's fine.
So that was with advantage. It's a 3 and a 4 on the dice.
Yeah.
So he misses.
Yes.
He just doesn't expect you to come and just arcs into the air, but already you're gone and by.
As I said,
He sort of spits blood onto the ground and sees you and is seeing, and he, oh dear.
yeah, I will still be in range of him and keep with the boat if I can. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my turn.
That's fine. Okay, the boat, it will just slam into the falling star.
It's fine, I'm there, I'm ready.
The boat's lost some of its momentum. The falling star is moving as well, so it's only going to take half damage from this.
We'll get a
Because
nice
of,
push.
Right, where is it?
push start.
That's all we needed.
That's all I needed.
Where was that ages ago?
So I've got a
Crush
reaction.
damage, gargantuan is a...
Good news, plenty of rations. Plenty of rations.
And a new boat.
And a new boat.
So,
Yay.
the ship has to make a constitution saving throw. Can someone roll a d20 for me, please?
Does it get bonus for me being nearby?
I don't...
Fucking boat.
I think the lucky girl.
I can't use
This
luck on
classes it as a constitution saving throw.
I
And
get
Unearthed
+4.
Arcana means that it's got its own stats, including a con score, a dex score. I will allow it. I will allow it, technically.
Oh, for
Yeah.
yeah. I was like,
For some weird reason, as written, this works. So you do it.
So
Why not?
So the boat is inspired by Theren.
It's not even inspired. It's your divine power is somehow giving the infrastructure of the boat's strength. Like you are powerful as a person. Like Perif is smiling on this right now.
the boat is holy, but in a good way.
Exactly.
there you go, ready?
Make a
You
check.
got it. So that's a 7 plus whatever the boat's constitution modifier is.
Please tell me
Plus
it's
1.
an 8.
Right. They needed a 10,
Oh,
Shit.
so it
I don't
fails.
suppose I could use lucky.
It's going to take half damage because of the fact
Yep.
that it's moving a little lower, but it will take
Ah.
some damage. Where's my d10s at? So many d10s in boat fighting. It's ridiculous. 10, 14, 23, 26. Double it to 52 damage. So the hull takes a massive whack here. It's on just over half health. You can see it smashes into the back of the ship, leaving a huge gouge. It doesn't... you don't think there's any sort of damage into the structural integrity of the ship, but it was a big whack, and you can see this ram is being hit in. As it hits, you can see Theren and Kasaki sort of at the front. Odie and Vincent will come and shoot at the captain. So Vincent is going to take a shot. Odie's going to take 2 shots at the
Doesn't Theren
captain.
go before?
Theren, you do as well. Yeah, what would you like to do?
Sorry.
Theren is gonna
Eldritch Blasting?
before he does that. Oh shit, wait, hang on. We've been hit by the boat.
We've been
Yeah.
hit by the boat?
Right.
There's a huge shock as the boat gets shunted forward slightly.
Theren is going to sort of just glance behind him at Cass. Put a hand on his shoulder. Say, "We'll live through this," and cast Shield of Faith on her.
Okay, yeah.
So she now has
Plus
19 armor class,
Yeah.
and he is going to fire Eldritch Blasts
At the
at
captain.
the captain.
So Vincent make a roll, Odie make 2 rolls.
Only 2?
1 at the crew, but 2 at the captain.
Is Aubrey within thingy?
Of melee range.
She
Unfortunately
did
not. She flew by.
Yeah.
Flew out of the way.
Yeah. No. Well, because
Aubrey would have taken a lot of hits if she'd stayed there.
That's,
so
very true. 17 to hit.
16 is the armor class.
Good.
First one's 26, second one's a 17.
Both hit. 16 armor class.
I'll let these guys do the damage and stuff first.
I love how there's 3 of you and you're all in one tray. It's
Because
like,
it's
oh
good
my
to-
god.
It's good to have.
7 points of damage.
7 points.
And that's 12 points of damage.
Okay, 12 points.
So I'm doing 2 attacks at the captain and then 1 at the crew.
Yes.
So 2 at the captain.
Oh!
You saw that was almost
Yeah,
got-
that was
impressive.
ridiculous.
Okay, sorry. That was a 25 and a 16 on the thing. So I'm guessing 25 hits, 16 doesn't.
Yeah, 16 hits. That's his armor class.
Right, nice. And then the one on the crew is a
14.
14, yeah.
Okay, yeah, all hit. Roll your damage.
Bloody 8.
This guy's
That's
close.
so
He's
funny. That was
taken
funny.
62 out of 93.
So the captain takes 10, 18 piercing damage and
13 health left.
come on, Aubrey. And the crew takes 11 piercing damage as well.
Okay. Another member of the crew just gets
wait,
shot.
Could Odie move her hunter's mark to the captain?
She doesn't have Hunter's Mark used, I don't think.
No, she did.
She did.
Oh.
But
It's too late. It's too late. Don't worry. I just
yeah, roll the 2d6. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. We're rushing through this.
Yeah.
There's a lot to think about. I'll let you off.
that's 8.
Hey, it's not quite enough,
No,
but it's
yeah. Sorry.
yeah, fine.
I'll say that.
Okay. The captain is grievously wounded now. Arrows, Eldritch Force being peppered into him. Aubrey just took him by surprise. He's vicious, but he's not stupid. He's now looking at the bodies of about 30 of his comrades. None of you have dropped. He's looking at Theren. He's looking at Kasaki guarding the entrance. Aubrey is hassling them. The oars are now taking damage. You watch as he sort of... he takes the axe and then drops it. And in a very broken common, truce. You win this day. And you see him moving back onto the boat 30 feet, shoving people out the way and sort of almost like barging his way to the back of the boat. And you can see the raiding party. They all snarl and sort of pulling back, you can see them spitting and getting ready, but they're retreating from the front of the boat.
How many are left?
30 something.
There's loads of these things. Like, we got rid of all the crew. It's just the raiding party.
And it's mostly raiding party now, I should say. So within melee range, they do still look threatening.
Yeah.
Alright, Theren gestures at Aubrey to return to the ship.
Can I land on the boat and then walk onto the ship?
Yeah, you can.
That's
yeah,
what I can be
definitely.
as threatening as possible.
Yeah,
Like
Kasaki's not going to move anywhere if you're not moving anywhere.
Well, if you're going to land on the ship
Yeah, I'm gonna
instead of just flying back,
Yeah, of course.
Theren will hop up onto the ship.
Drazda and Sacha are just
Oh,
blasting
smashing.
away at the oars whilst you're doing this, and actually they're much better on the burning. Yeah, there's a lot of damage, so they're going to completely take out one side of the boat's oars now, so this thing can't move. You can see the oars are now being retreated into the boat to protect them from the damage. All down one side, the oars have been burnt away, and the fire is starting to catch back into the internals of the boat. And the other side, Sacha is leaping lightning from places that are sort of arcing off the wood and doing structural damage. So the boat definitely appears to be retreating now.
Is Cass with us as well?
Yeah.
Because Theren's gone up. Right, okay. Theren, can I speak, or is this still initiative sort of thing?
Yeah, you can speak, yeah.
Cool. Theren is going to sort of address the captain and go, "What are the terms of your surrender?"
He sort of looks round. You can see him sort of venturing, like he's sort of got his door open at the inside of the hull. He sort of looks around. You get to live. These are terms for you. We still have men. I just would rather not lose any more. I know when I'm beaten.
Who sent you?
And you can see now, like there's sort of 9 or 10 of the sort of the armoured people are now starting to like form a ring around, stopping you from getting onto the ship. They're not approaching, they're leaving sort of a 5-10 feet gap, but there are a lot of orcs. like 9 or 10 with axes and cleavers and various sort of looking weapons, as there's now a standoff between you and them. And the captain just sort of like barks orders and then just like opens the door and slams it shut.
Is there any sign of the caster anywhere? Just before we finish.
Make a perception check.
That's a 9.
I'd also kind of be looking for him.
Yeah, better still Theren. Now I think about it.
Yeah,
Because he's the most dangerous. 17.
10.
17. You see at the back, and you can see her just sort of like flexing her hands, and there seems to be definitely magical energy there, but she's sort of waiting.
Has she got because I'm familiar with using a ritual casting element, arcane focus or a druidic focus. Has she got something like that I could demand from her?
Make an Arcana check.
No.
What have you got?
That will be 2.
2. I will give you that she, possibly the staff, but you're not sure entirely what type of spellcaster she is. It's difficult to tell.
If I'm suspicious of the staff, I'd go, give me your staff, as I have the flame ball sphere in its dying moment.
So you're on the boat with
I'll
us?
come
Okay.
on too.
Make an intimidation check.
Oh no, I'm not good at these.
Give me the stuff.
Give me the star, please. 6.
6. She looks at you back. Get off my ship or I fireball you again.
It's just say that I'm coming.
Yeah.
Sweet. Theren takes a step forward, raises his voice to scary Theren tone. Captain has retreated into his cabin, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he goes, every last one of you will listen to me now. You will tell us where you came from, if anyone sent you, and you will give him what he asks for, or I swear by every god that has ever lived, they will not find your body.
Make an intimidation check.
I rage as well. Re-rage.
Yeah. Maybe with
24.
advantage if Aubrey's helping you.
24.
I tried.
Oh, she can't save against that, no.
Flaming sphere.
There's a moment where you can see just like, and in like Orcish, like words are just sort of mentioned, and you can see them sort of pulling back, recognizing like the force. Like no, this is what I should say. As a DM, it might be seeming like I'm pulling the fight back a little bit, but they've taken like half casualties. Like half of the boat is now dead. There is no one dead from their boat. This is not gone well for them at all.
This has not been an ideal
She
day.
has already launched a fireball to no effect. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a powerful spell for her.
It was effective.
Yeah,
Just-
but like
She doesn't
right
know
back
that.
up.
She doesn't know that. Yeah, she
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
know. There's nothing that she can see, and all she can see is like 30 bodies on the deck of the ship.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
bloody and cluttered and horrendous. She just sort of like takes the staff and swears in Orcish and drops the staff. And that's where we'll leave it for today.
Whoa.
We'll pick this back up next time.
New boat, new rules.
So how many?
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
everybody. That was
Thank you,
intense.
Ryan.
That was a bigger
Yeah.
combat than I was expecting. But I thought we'd do some. I wanted to use Fiona after Arcana rules at some point. That's some good fun, really.
Are those the new rules for ship combat?
It was, yeah.
I like
Very
them.
And
complicated.
it's now in Ghost of Saltmarsh.
I tried. Is it now? Oh, there you go. I tried putting in some like personal combat with the ship combat. I don't know if it's too complicated. It seems like it's a bit clogged, doesn't
Dealt
it?
with it really
I think,
well.
to be
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. Maybe it's a little bit like you just need to sort
See
of
my
pad it out a little bit.
D4?
Default's
Sam
gone
had it.
some-
Oh, I nicked it because
But we'll pick this up next time. That's a lot of combat and a lot
That's
of
good.
stuff happening. But until then, thank you very much, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.